Hey, welcome back to an episode of Instagram Podcast. I'm your host, Juan. As always, my co-host here with me. Hey, Trip.
Yo, what's up?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing really good. How are you?
I'm really good. Also, what are we talking about this week on the podcast?
Best of animes that we watched in 2020. That's what we're doing, everyone. We're doing it. It's Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll did the thing, and now it's us too. And then Crunchyroll does it later, and then we do it too. Because we just follow the fucking trends, man.
Yeah, we like to
We're
milk
just trend blasters.
We like to milk anything that's happening for as much as we can. So, this.
Ooh, which speaking of, this isn't in the news, but I need to tell you before I forget.
Okay, go ahead.
That Studio Ghibli 3D movie, Earwig and the Witch or whatever. Mm-hmm. We could watch that. I think it's on HBO Max on like February 4th or something. It's coming out very, very soon.
Okay.
That's what we're going to do that episode on that week.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. We should do that.
Bitch.
What I was trying to say is that this week we're going to be talking about the Crunchyroll Awards and what we voted for, what was nominated, and then later on we're going to talk about what actually won. We do this every year. This year's I feel a little different. I think I noticed that I voted the very last day for the Crunchyroll Awards that they were available, and then I saw that they're not going to be announced the winners for 22 more days or something like that. Fucking
yeah, they did that same thing last year. I remember that, and I was like, "What?
Yeah, it's so weird."
Come on.
Anyways, but I guess that gives us 2 episodes, which is nice to have easy ones. Yeah,
it sure is, man.
Cool, man.
Cool, man. Okay, well, you ready to fucking get into this, or do you want to catch up beforehand?
I don't have much to catch up on. I have
what?
I feel like I haven't done much this past week.
Dude, I'm gonna be super honest with you. Me either. And I've been taking a break because I'm just kind of I stretch myself too thin sometimes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, I for sure feel that sometimes. I think like things that are noteworthy, animating. Chugging along.
Dude,
we had
big.
We had a crazy fucking windstorm. That is kind of still going on. It's raining where we're at right now. Fucking, we're scared that the power will go out any second. If it does, by the way, we're not doing the pod. We'll do something else.
I'm not even gonna post this shit. It's gonna be just up on Twitch, and that's gonna be the only place you could find it.
Yeah, we'll drop a new episode like on the weekend, and it'll be like 20 minutes long, and we'll just go. We won't even. We'll just go through the list and say stuff and call it good.
These were the shows. Have a good one.
And we've talked about in the past, like what will we do when we lose an episode? Because we haven't lost an episode yet. But,
oh my god! Woo,
but that one time,
despite every fucking thing fighting us,
today we couldn't get my audio to work.
You just.
Anyways,
you never know, man.
We've talked about this
new bullshit,
and so far we haven't had to do anything. In this case, if it is just the power going out, like that is out of our hands. We can't really fucking stop that from happening. Come on, man.
Thank you, Sky Lords, for helping us out and ruining our episode.
Yeah, so that's nuts. Today, actually, I covered a shift at work because my sister had an ultrasound, and she was able to go by herself, but her husband also works at the same place, and he wanted to go, also see the baby. So they asked me to cover. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, that's a great reason for me to cover. I'm not gonna be like, you just want a day off. I was like, thanks.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, that's nice. So I got to work for a few hours today, which is okay. Didn't have any issues. I'm pretty used to working in the food industry whenever I have to. I feel like I'm very fake, which I think you also come across it too, like when you have to talk to people.
Oh, dude, it's me. Literally my job is, if you're not careful about literally everything you say, it could come back to bite you and people could sue you. And I'm like, very cool. Then I will be chill as fuck boy until somebody shows up, and then I will be insanely helpful, very nice person that's not even close to being genuine.
Yeah.
Unless there's something where I'm like, very cool thing, that person, and that's really the only genuine part that you get out of me.
Which comes off as really off-putting for the people who know you. Like, when I know that when I'm like in super nice work mode, I'm just like, I don't like me, and I don't think my friends would like me. But that's what you have to do, because if not, I'd be like, yo, what the fuck you want? You want onions on that bitch? Cool, get the fuck out of my face. And that's like, that's not appropriate. Okay.
Yeah.
Lastly, Sierra.
Lastly, already.
Yeah, it's really quick. Okay, hold
covered
on.
at work, and also
today I had to. Actually, last week I went to take Sierra's car into the tire shop because there was like their tire pressure was low, and I felt really. I was there for a long time, and then like the guy that was our tech, my tire technician, came up to me and he was like, "Hey man, these are all the things I did," and he told me all the things he did and what order he did them in, and then how he did that again, and he's just like, "I cannot find anything wrong with your tire. I am sorry." And I was just like, "Well, what do you want me to do? Like, there's obviously something wrong with my tire." And he's just like, "Yeah, go home. And if it happens again, come back." I was like, "Okay." So I went home. And then today, Sierra said, "Hey, my thing went off again." So I went in. I was like, he had to check it out again. You told me to come back. So he did. And then this time they're like, "Hey, man, turns out your wheel is cracked. And it's making a really small leak." And I was like, "Oh, shit." Well,
how did they not? Whatever.
Well, no, I was like, I didn't like bring it up. I was like, well, but then like the guy who was helping me this time was like the assistant manager or whatever. He was like he was the Hank Hill of the operation, and he explained to me like, "Hey, last time, the crack probably wasn't as bad, but because time has passed, the weight of the car, it's starting to get more cracked. So now it's more noticeable. So this time we for sure saw it. I was like, okay, cool." And I was talking to Sierra about it. I was like, she's like, "I only drove the one time since then," because she didn't really have to drive that much because of not having to go into the office or whatever. I was like, "Yeah, but even just like having your car sit there, the crack will get worse." So yeah, we got a new wheel. It doesn't match the other wheels, but we got a new wheel.
You're supposed to buy two at a time.
No. The wheel and tire are different. The tire you're supposed to buy at the same time. Wheel, as long as they're the same shape.
Yeah, okay, I understand.
Yeah,
I understand now.
It wasn't the tire that was fucked up. It was the wheel.
I didn't realize it could leak.
Well, it
from the wheel being
the
broken.
wheel was broken, and because it was broken, air was leaking out of where it was cracked or whatever, which blew my. I also was like, when he said the wheel is cracked, I said, "Well, how do you fix that?" And he goes, "We don't." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." Because
well, yeah, I figured you were like accidentally saying wheel instead of tire when you said it was leaking. Because I'm just like, okay, I'm fine. Yeah, that's weird.
No, the tire was completely fine. The wheel, the thing that the tire is on.
How does that happen?
They said it could be like driving over a pothole, something like that. It's probably what happened. There's some fucking bad roads out there, so
there are. Yeah.
Our
city. Oh.
Yeah, so that's that. The last thing, here it is, the final thing, the last thing. Sierra wanted to be on the pod to talk about a specific thing, but I told her she couldn't because I'm the man in the relationship, and that's not how it works. But she sent me a text. She's like, "Hey," I think she knows I have nothing to talk about. So she said, "Here's the talking point." So here's my quick review. Here's Sierra's quick review of the Winx Club that just came out on Netflix. So let's see. She did write a whole text. I don't want to read it all because I don't like to read. But
just say the first and last words.
So the first word of her text is "for," and the last word is "motherfuckers." But it's
hey. Podcast over. I'm done. That's like seriously not going to get better than that.
But it's spelled "motherfuckers" like the anime movie, like the anime movie that we watched.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah. So essentially, what she says is that it's completely different than the anime was, and she thinks that's to its benefit. It's more like inspired by, and it's kind of has like a Riverdale and like Chilling Adventures of Sabrina kind of vibes.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, it's a live action Netflix adaptation.
Exactly.
It's not recreation of the anime or anything. It's it's doing its own fucking thing.
She said she had like very low expectations going into it first, and wasn't impressed during like the first episode. But after because she was like making comparisons to like the original show and this show, and then after she realized like, oh, there's only a handful of things that they borrowed, and this is kind of its own thing, she started to like it. She said that overall, like if there was a second season, she would watch it. It was just like dark and angsty. That's the kind of vibe they were going for, and they nailed that. She posted it on like this Facebook group that we're a part of, and she said that 10 out of the 8 people who commented on it all agreed. They're like, "Hey, yeah, like they thought they'd hate it, but they ended up liking it." So I mean, people do like it, I guess.
Yeah. So based off of that Facebook group, you guys should definitely watch it.
She said she was hoping for something like more like colorful and sparkly, like the original animation, but she's satisfied with what they got. She was also saying that Winx technically is done by like an animation studio in Italy, so it's not really like an anime because it's not from Japan. But she said it's kind of like the same veins as the show Motherfuckers, as the movie Motherfuckers, and that's how the first letter of the text was 4, and the last letter in the text was Motherfuckers. That's really funny.
Perfect.
So yeah,
I mean, I guess that follows the similar thing as Valerian and the City of 1,000 Stars.
Yeah,
whatever the fucking show is called or whatever.
Valerian, the Valerian and Laureline something travel or something. Yeah, because we couldn't find it on My Anime List. Like, just not fucking anime. It's from France. We're like, all right, but it fucking looks like anime. Get over it.
Yep, and that's that. That was the end of it.
Yeah, so I guess in summation, it's not a great representation of what the animated show was, but it's for some people. Sierra liked it. Yeah, check it out.
And we like Sierra, so
we do. We like her enough to marry her. Both of us. We both married Sierra. One of us just did it faster than the other one.
The beans have been spilled.
Yeah.
What can I say?
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah. That's all I really have to talk about. I did watch some animes, which I would like to get into, but I don't really have anything else to talk about me. The only thing I've been watching besides anime is a shit ton of King of the Hill, and that's because I just kind of play it in the background while I work. I've gone through
Dude, I've been needing some background shows as well. I've been going through like podcasts and stuff as I'm playing Tetris.
So that's it? All you do is play Tetris now, huh?
Oh yeah, that's I'm just gonna play Tetris a whole bunch. Essentially, I have been doing stuff with friends a lot, like whether it's watching things or playing games or just chilling and talking. I've been doing a lot of stuff. Rarely give myself like a night to just fucking vibe, and I have been just really into it lately. Yeah. So I've started playing some Tetris and just like watching shit in the background and having a good time. I watched Search Party, which I've been meaning to catch up on since it's the new season's currently airing on HBO. And it's just about vapid, very stupid millennials, and I love it so much. They're doing a weird like story arc this season where one of the characters is kidnapped, and it's a whole bizarre thing, and that's not as fun to me. The reason that I like the show so much is that it's these characters that are just trashy pieces of shit, and they kind of get themselves into unfortunate situations while trying to be helpful, but they're being helpful for like the wrong reasons kind of thing. And over the course of the show, one character, the one who gets kidnapped, she's killed people, and she got away with murder, more or less. And that's why she's kidnapped. It's because she's not in jail now. Anyways, they're a bunch of really shitty people. And now it's gotten to the point where the show started out with them searching for this girl who went missing. And now they're searching for one of them who has gone missing. But nobody believes that she's missing because first off, she's a killer. She could be under like witness protection because a lot of people absolutely hate her. And then the kidnapper like sent letters to a bunch of people and stuff and made it look like she's just like on vacation in Europe. And she's got all these Photoshop pictures and stuff being posted on social media. And then it kicks off with wait a second, that's my shirt, like that's my sweater. I have that sweater with me. She can't possibly be gone. And then it starts the search, and very quickly it becomes, okay, yeah, this is the show that I like. This is the shitty people trying to do something good, but like being really shitty at it. I love it. It's just tons of fun. The music's great. The story's interesting. And yeah, the characters are terrible, and sometimes I like that. I'm trying to think of other shows like that have terrible characters, but you keep watching it. Kind of like, I don't know, man. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I really like shows like Friends from College. Like that's a good example of a bunch of shitty people in kind of like a weird drama comedy type show presentation. Anyways, been a lot of fun. Been watching that. Played a little bit of Sea of Thieves. Found out that you can get struck by lightning in that game, and sometimes lightning strikes twice at once. Or no, it's not twice at once. It's that If you're holding a sword, it does 70% of your health and damage. And if you're in water, it also does a lot. And usually when it's raining, there's a thin layer of water on things. So anyways, you die like instantly if you get hit by lightning.
Yeah.
We all got hit by lightning and died, and our ship was sinking. And then by the time we resurrected, we were able to resurrect on the sinking ship and died again.
Nice.
And it was just a whole thing, trying to get back a bunch of supplies that we lost thanks to the fucking storm. Going up against some motherfuckers that like absolutely do not like our deal and sinking us, jumping on our ship, fucking us up because we don't know what we're doing. And then, a little bit of fucking up other people because they weren't communicating with us. And for some reason, karma didn't come after us after we absolutely stole all of their shit and killed them. It's a fun game. It's weird. I like being bad in that game. Typically, I'm like, oh, no, I don't want to give other people a bad time. But we're pirates, and that's kind of the thing, is to give each other bad times. So it feels pretty good. I really like that. Played more Stardew Valley. That's just something that I'm consistently playing with Kate, and it's a lot of fun. We are at the point right now where we got to new content, because that's why we've been playing it. They released like a really big patch with a bunch of new content. We finally got to it. Essentially, you repair this boat, and then you're able to go on that boat to an island. And on that island, there are some very specific characters. You have to do small, like, I don't know, like not hide and seek, like treasure hunt type stuff. You have to go and find little things buried in the sand, go through a more difficult mine, use your watering can. Instead of watering crops, you're able to water the lava and then cross over it because it hardens into a rock. And yeah, just very different mechanics from a lot of the other game. It's been fun. It's been exciting. We just got to that point. And we're also in the spring, or we're past the spring season now. Our spring crop like arrangement was terrible, Juan.
Kate.
It was bad.
Thanks a lot, Kate.
As soon as it ended, everybody felt better.
Good.
It's just like, it's a huge wave of relief. And now anytime that we harvest crops, we make more money than we've ever made. It's like 100,000 gold per night, which typically I don't know, like on a good day when you're starting out, you make a few thousand, and now we're making almost 100 times what we started making at the beginning of the game.
You guys are stupid
feels pretty
rich.
Good. Yeah, it feels pretty good. So money isn't really a problem right now. We're just going to be saving up money as much as possible so we could finally buy the return scepter, which just takes you home from wherever you are. And that's kind of like our end goal, is to get that. Because in our last game, we were around the same point. We had like almost 400,000 gold, I think. So you knew that we were making a lot of money. But I think we've really streamlined things in this current playthrough we're doing. I fucking love it, man. It's such a chill time, but you're also like, the way we play, you're constantly pushing yourself. So much satisfaction. But mostly I've been playing Tetris in my downtime while watching things. And then I've never really been that great at Tetris. I want to be great at Tetris. I've been good at Tetris, but I haven't tried to get super far into it. Well, now we're at the point where I'm consistently in the top 10 for Tetris 99. I can get top 3 pretty often, not like all the time, clearly, but I can't make it to the top 1, man. It's driving me crazy. Like tonight when I hopped on, I immediately got 3rd place and was like, okay, feeling good. Then after that, I got 72nd, then 80th. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So like, I don't know. It's interesting trying to figure out the game and like recognize specific patterns. There's this part of me that finds it so satisfying to recognize those patterns and to execute what I'm trying to do in my head with my hands. Because sometimes I'm able to think faster than I can move, or vice versa. Just usually, it's the think faster than I can move thing. it's been fun. I've been having a great time. I can't wait to play more of that and actually get first place, but that'll never happen. But that's cool. That's more or less what I've been up to. At work, my maintenance guy asked something about if I would talk about certain things on the podcast. Because I told him that, like, I save up good stories from work for the podcast, and like I won't really talk about them outside of work or with people at work, so that I can make sure to retain that same emotion about it. Because what I like to do is I like to complain and kind of talk stuff out, and then after I'm done talking about it, I let go of whatever kind of like negative feelings I was having about that. It's just like, yeah, this fucking thing sucks. Anyways, now that I'm done bitching, we're good.
Yeah.
So I saved some of that energy for the podcast, right? So I had told him that, and he asked if I've been like what I talk about in general from the podcast, if I've talked about anything recently from work. And I'm like, look, no, man, things have been okay at work, and like there's nothing to talk about with you either, because you don't do any weird stuff. Whereas my last maintenance guy was a little like, he was just a unique dude who would say some weird things, and it would be fun to bring it up on the podcast. And I had to be like, look, Alan, you're just too damn normal, and I really like you, but I don't have any reason to talk about you on the podcast. So this is the time that I'm talking about him on the podcast. Alan, shout outs to you, my guy.
Yeah, if you want to be on the podcast more, say some like racist shit.
Yeah,
or some like homophobic
absolutely.
shit. Or like some, some really stupid shit, and you'll for sure make the podcast. And it's usually like, can you believe the stupid shit my maintenance guy said? And then you'll say it, and I go, oh, I cannot believe that he said that.
And I go, yes, he really did say those words.
And we go, why isn't he fired? And we go, because he's a goddamn good maintenance guy.
Because goddamn it, he's beautiful.
Yeah. Sorry, Alan. Maybe next time.
Yeah. I did find out that our head of maintenance has said some pretty uncouth shit, some pretty racist remarks, and I'm like, this is a guy in charge of other people. I don't like that.
Well, he's the maintenance guy. They're supposed to be, if they're not a little racist, you can't fix anything, right?
Yeah, man. I agree with you there. No, I don't.
Alan, come on, just say some fucking crazy shit and you'll make it on the pod.
All right,
this isn't the one that said yes, what was it? It was like somebody had died and they're like, ah, sweet.
No, that's the guy that I'm talking about.
That's the old, yeah, that guy was wild.
Yeah, yeah, he said,
score.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what he said.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this person passed away. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
Is it, dude? Is that what you're talking about? No, but Alan actually said one of the best things I've ever heard about history, like history class.
Okay.
History in school. Because for me, it's never been a subject that I've cared too much about. It's neat, but like,
Yeah, me either. History stuff that happened in the past that I don't care about, so whatever.
Alan was like, yeah, man, I absolutely love history. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm always interested to find out why people like things that don't particularly click with me. And I'm like, okay, so what's the thing about history with you? And he's like, well, I always think about time travel. And I'm like, hang on, is this the coolest conversation about history I've ever had? And he's so inspired to learn more about history because he's really interested in time travel and thinks it would be cool to see all these different eras and like really feel like the heart of it and see all the issues at hand and compare them with our today. And that's what he's so into. And I didn't even know. He's like, Back to the Future is like my favorite movie series because of the time travel. I'm like, okay, man.
I think Alan, what he's mistaken, or maybe he's done the right thing. Instead of starting a conversation about like, hey, I really love time travel, but you instantly think that guy's fucking nuts. But if you go, dude, I'm a huge fan of history, and they go, oh, nice, a normal person, and then he goes, because of the time travel. That's how you
go, whoa, yeah, it blew my fucking mind when he told me that. He sat there,
reels you in slowly, and then he fucking hooks you. He's just like,
how did he do it? Yeah, so that was a really cool thing to hear. Totally different perspective on that. And then today he was talking more about how like his interest, because he's changing his majors in school. So now he's going to go more into
time travel,
being a teacher. He wants to be a history teacher. And I'm like, you're already perfect, because the first thing that you said about history to me was time travel. And if I was in your class, I would be like, yeah, this is the coolest history teacher I've ever had. And I had a history teacher that drank Diet Pepsi and Slim Fast all day while talking about Lord of the Rings and Warhammer.
Yeah, he was dope. He wasn't even my teacher, and he was dope. My favorite history teacher was Mr. Gert. He had a really good Hitler impersonation. God damn, it was great. Yeah, we had to learn about World War II, and the way he made us get like really into it was like, hey, you guys want to hear what it sounded like to be Hitler? Here I go, ready? And he would just do like, he did this really, I mean, obviously he wasn't speaking German, but he made it sound like it was. He was yelling and screaming, and he was sweating, and he was like pulling his hair to the side, and it was so bad that the teacher across the hall came over. He's like, hey, what the fuck's going on? He's just like, I'm teaching a class. Can't you fucking see? I'm teaching the youth. He was great. He was really funny.
That's pretty rad.
Yeah.
But yeah, Alan was talking about, he wants to talk about the conversations about like why these things happened and like what led to them and whatnot, instead of just the events. Because like, yeah, the French Revolution, the Civil War, like a whole bunch of different events that we go over frequently in school, never really builds up to it. It's always like, yep, this was a bad time at the moment, and then this is how it happened. And people are like, yeah. But like, why was it a bad time? Like, what led to that? What was happening with the people? Like, why was this the catalyst? Why did that set everything off? Which I feel like isn't something that I ever had covered in history class.
What was on TV?
Like, I've taken...
What was on TV?
Is that why World War?
Is that why World War II happened? Oh, okay. So that's why Vietnam
Napoleon
happened.
was watching Friends at the time. Okay. Yeah.
McDonald's just released the McNuggets. Okay, that makes sense now. That's why NATO happened.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Like I was in all different kinds of history classes. Like I grew up in an open structure elementary school program where they tried to like teach you things differently. And then I was in honors history classes, I was in regular history classes, and then I went into AP history classes, and god damn it, none of them made me interested in history in the same way that just like a few minutes talking to my maintenance guy made me interested in it. I was like, dude, I want you to teach me about events. I want to learn about the past.
Sounds like Alan's like the Matt Damon of fucking, he's fucking, what's it called? What's in that movie where he's like a genius?
Good Will Hunting?
He's the Good Will Hunting of history. Thank you. He's just drawing shit on the board, and you're like, wow, what a fucking genius. He's like, yep.
Yeah, he's like, as you can see here, this is when Czechoslovakia
was a thing.
All right, thank you so much, Alan.
It's like, did you finish, changing those light bulbs? Like, yeah, I did. Did you finish your history quiz? Like, yeah, I turned it in. Okay, cool. That's cool, man. Good for him. Best of luck, Alan, to you and your education goals, I guess.
Alan's going to have a great time in his education career.
Yeah.
I already know it. I guess that's what's been up with me, man.
Okay. You want to talk about...
So much time. Well, one more thing. I did talk to Giancarlo. You remember Giancarlo?
Who can forget Giancarlo? Yeah.
Who I brought up last week in the podcast. Yeah, he's sending me over some biscottis.
Nice.
I'm pretty stoked about that, man.
Does he make them or?
Yeah.
I think you've told me in the past that he makes really good. Was it biscottis or he's starting a company or something?
He has a company. It's Karate's Biscottis. But he's always like, yeah, dude, let me send you some biscottis. And I'm like, dude, you send it my way. Getting some lemon poppy seed, getting some regular. I'm pretty excited about it. My coworker is also very stoked about it.
That does sound pretty cool. Boy. Well, Trip will review them live on the pod. If he hates them, he'll spit them out.
I'll crunch them. I'll spit them. I'll do whatever you want. Just give me the money.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah. All right, dude. Do you want to talk about anime that we've been watching this week?
Not particularly, because like I feel like all the anime that I've been watching, I've been like, well, aside from a couple of shows, I guess, have been very like engaging and intriguing and spoiler heavy.
Okay.
And the ones that I want to talk about, Attack on Titan, Promised Neverland, and finally coming at you, Egg Show.
Wandering Egg.
What did you
Priority?
call it? Yeah. Wonder Egg Priority.
Yeah.
those shows are just blowing me away. Wonder Egg Priority, easily the most interesting show. Made me very like, oh man, if I played a new D&D campaign, it would be like a school campaign. And then when some fucking shit would be going on in town, then you would go in and Kyle's like, you mean like Persona? I'm like, it would be like Persona, but where you're just going around and then some shit's going off and then your pen turns into your Warhammer and you go into that battle. Because this show has some of the sickest like weapon design stuff just from that one weapon.
Yeah,
I'm already like
ooh. When it popped up again, I was like, what the fuck? And then I realized, oh, it's one of those pens that has like a bunch of multicolors. Like that, what a cool idea. Yeah, the show's really good.
Is.
I only watched the second episode just right before the pod. We started recording the pod. It's really good. I know you don't want to talk about these shows, but fuck you. It's my podcast too. We're talking about all these shows. Here we go. Promised Neverland is good. I'm liking it. Stuff's happening.
And some big things happened that, as a manga reader, didn't exactly happen in the order that they did.
Hey, man.
There's a big thing that was skipped. The thing at the end of the episode is actually from the third story arc, and it's at the end of the third story arc.
Hey, man, sometimes you got to do stuff like that, because sometimes people don't have time to read.
What I'm trying to say is I'm so stoked to be going into this show blind now and to be like, oh, they're doing this at this point. It's like a different experience. Pretty excited. Curious. I'm hoping that they don't change something that they removed from the last episode, because I don't know, first off, when they're going to do it, and second off, if they're going to do it in a similar way, because it brings a different tone to the show that we haven't really explored at all, that I think needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
It's a very like real situation that adds a different level of gravity and significance to the show. I am hoping that we get to see that same thing, but they might alter it to be a little bit less super dark and depressing. We'll find out.
Yeah, obviously we're not going to spoil anything because it's a great show, but I do want to talk about the I don't even know their names, but like the demons that were hanging out with them in the beginning of the last couple episodes. So it looks like
Mojika and Sonju.
It looks like, at least from just my guessing because of what I've seen, that they're gone and they might not come back. Maybe they will, who knows. But I will say we got to see one of them's the guy demon, what his actual motives are, and I was just like, oh my god, this is terrifying. And like the other girl, like the other demon girl, like seems to be like, she doesn't seem to be like on board with it, but she's just like, oh, I understand. And she's kind of like listening to it and like being very like, not receptive to what his thoughts are. And I go, oh my god, these guys are monsters. Even though they're all monsters. Everybody's all the demons are demons, and like they've been so kind. I was just like, that what he said. I was like, that's pretty hardcore. That's kind of brutal. I was like, but hey, I mean, if he can make it in his head seem reasonable, what he's saying isn't like out of the realm of possibility to his beliefs or whatever, religious beliefs. Like, I guess it's okay for his character. And that was just kind of like, I don't know, it kind of shook me a bit because I didn't expect him to say something like that or be the way he is.
Pretty cool though, right?
Yeah, it was really interesting. I was like, oh fuck. And I was just like, oh no. Oh, please no, but hey.
Yeah, there were three big parts of the episode. There was that, the next thing.
Yeah.
And then the two things that kind of happened at the same time at the end.
Yeah, it's the last bit. Yeah, the last bit was like, I was kind of, because there was so much going on at the end of that episode, I didn't know what to be more concerned about. And I was just like,
okay, so the writing, let's just say the writing, they changed some stuff on the writing because of events that didn't happen earlier.
Right.
And then at the very end, that takes place in a very different location in the book. So that's why I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen.
I can't, can I say, again, I'm not a manga reader, I don't know where the story goes. That last bit, the last bit that we're talking about, not the writing bit, did feel a little just kind of out of nowhere. Especially when they get to that, to be in that situation. I'm like seeing the things, like the environment that I'm around. It felt really out of place, at least to me. I was like, it felt like it should have been somewhere else, but I still really liked it. I'm like, oh fuck, what's going on?
Here's the thing about it. If the thing that happened in the manga if that happened in the show, it would make sense for this not to happen. That whole thing. But because they changed it around, it makes much more sense that they have something to go off of now.
Right.
Because like essentially they just constantly need different stuff to motivate them in different ways, right? So the fact that they are where they are right now, getting that last scene is going to give them the motivation to go into the next story arc. So we might be covering the third story arc and then go back to the second one. I don't really know. I do not know.
Either way, I'm very excited, and I'm tired of talking about Promised Neverland this way because it is really
because it's super vague.
It's really
but
hard.
Here's the one thing that I will say. It's in the episode, and I just want to know what you thought. Do you have any idea of like the place that they're at right now? Can you figure anything out about that they didn't explicitly bring up in the show?
Like what?
That to me is like glaringly obvious, but to others it might not be.
I don't know what you're trying to get me to say because I don't want to say something and it be like I accidentally spoil something. But we can talk about it
you
later.
won't. There's like one very specific thing. Just dust. You know, you pay attention to any dust.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
you pay attention to like a little bit of that, then it adds a different context to this to where like, oh, I don't know kind of when this is taking place.
Exactly.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what any of it is. It adds a different, to me, layer of like confusion and horror, I guess. Right?
Yeah. I know, but to them it's like, hey, it's salvation, it's happiness.
I'm absolutely shocked that none of them brought that up. That's all I have to say because they talk about really so many other things. Yeah, I'm like, everything else, they're fucking geniuses. They should be able to notice right away that something isn't quite normal.
You know what's funny? There's a bit when they're playing the piano and like the last key activates like a escape room or something like that. The one thought that went through my head was, wow, they can't play any song with that one key, apparently. That sucks ass. Cause
I know, yeah. Well, I'm like, can't play that key. Also, I don't know if anyone even played music. Like, I don't know why this is here. And then that last key being that like one, that makes sense. It's off to the side. You just do a little donk. People typically aren't going to be playing that note in general. And if you're looking for like anything specific, that's probably not going to be your first idea.
Yes.
So I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. It works.
I just thought it was
I
so
don't
funny.
remember if there was anything like that in the manga, but there for sure were what they found. If that makes sense.
I just think it's really funny because like one of the kids is playing the piano and then another, like a child, like very childlike, comes and hits a key, just out of the blue, and it happens they open this hatch or whatever, and I go, yeah, so obviously it wasn't a combination of all the keys. It's just that single key. So whenever you hit that key, it's going to open the door. And I go, man, you can't do one of those classic, because you're fucked, bro. The door's going to open every time.
Or you can always do that when you need in the other room.
True. Anyways, that's Promised Neverland. It's really good. People should be watching it.
God damn it. But even better than that, dude, Attack on Titan.
Ooh.
Oh. And obviously we're not going to talk about anything, but this is for sure the best episode of Attack on Titan I've ever seen.
Dude, it was wild. I've never seen so many Titans in one place, dude.
Well, so many aware, sentient, like people
the hero Titans. Yeah, it was gnarly. And you know what you know how we were talking about last week, how people were like, they were kind of torn about, Eren and the gang being back, and they're just like, oh my God, they're being painted in this horrible light. Maybe they are the bad guys. This episode, when shit's popping off, I go, oh no, boys, you're out of your depths. Things are going awry. And then they fucking wreck shop.
I was sitting there and I'm like, yeah, this makes sense that they're getting fucking absolutely rocked. And then as soon as that turnaround happened, I was like, yeah, this makes sense that they're rocking absolutely everything.
That's so, because that's exactly how I felt. I'm like, you guys are so out of your depths. Like, what are you doing? And then they just started, that turning point hit, and then shit just started going in their direction. And I was just like, oh my God, they've done nothing but literally train for this moment. And they are thrashing. It was almost hard to watch. Like I can't see this. It's like seeing. It's like
I was happy that it wasn't just a complete pushover.
Yeah.
But I also didn't like what I saw.
No, yeah.
But in a personalized way,
Yeah,
I didn't like what I saw because I loved what I saw. I loved every
agree.
second. From like a film media perspective, holy shit, this was top notch storytelling. It was because it was the build up.
Yeah.
It's been years of building this up. And then this whole season has been so much build up to this. Yeah. And finally we get it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it just felt like it's like watching someone that's already knocked out continue to get punched. And I go, oh no, please just stop beating this dead person. It was wild. There was some really cool shit. Let's see. I'm trying to remember how that episode ended. Oh yeah, it popped off again at the very end. Dude, I don't know, man. Because we're only 7 episodes in. There's a total of 16. That's
something
almost,
like that.
That's like about halfway. I don't know. I'm really liking it though. It was a fucking good time. I'm so curious to see how this shit ends. Yeah, my Attack on Titan, absolutely probably the best show this season.
Every Sunday when I get to watch that, it's just such a treat.
Yeah.
You know, you just pop it on, you watch it, and you go, what the fuck? And then you text all your homies, and you're like, you in on this yet? Then your homies are like, nah.
Like,
you go, okay, cool.
I got work.
Hit me up. Now. That's Kate texted me was like, Christopher, have you watched it? And I'm like, bruh, nah. I've been like lying in bed. What's up?
Bruh, shut up, bruh. Yeah. No, it was good shit. I'm super excited to see what happens next. Okay, next thing. This is something I watched. I don't know if you watched this. I watched the second episode of Dr. Stone.
Fuck no.
I liked it.
Oh no, I just haven't watched it.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
Let's see what's happening. Last time I told you they were trying to get the cell phone, the cell phone to the place. They capture the chick, the pink chick. She's a gymnast. That's why she moves the way she moves, and she's like super fucking flexible and shit. I guess it's fucking, who cares? Spoilers.
Look, man, I'm going to be honest with you. Dr. Stone fans, I feel like they watch that show when it comes out right away.
Well, for sure.
And like,
okay.
Yeah.
But what's nice is at the end of this episode, our boy, Mr. Dr. Stone, the main character, Dr. Stone, gets to talk. He finally gets to talk to his 2 homies from fucking way back, season 1, episode, I don't know, fucking 1, 2. I don't know when the fucking chick shows up.
Whenever they split on episode 3.
Yeah, they're finally like in communication, and I was just like, dude, that feels nice. So yeah, it was cool. I'm still liking the show. It's nothing too crazy. Dr. Stone invented a flare. I think it's more like a what's it called? Like it's like a flash bomb, you know? He did that. He also invented UV blacklight to track somebody. Obviously, off camera. I like how now that the show has kind of progressed to a point where they've built a bunch of stuff, like they can do glass and like they can do like wiring and stuff. Not every episode, at least so far, not every episode has been like, hey, let's build this thing. He just has things built that he's built on the side. Which I like.
That's kind of convenient, yeah.
Yeah, because they'll have like, you know, they all have swords and people have glasses who need glasses, and they made a telescope, and I was just like, cool. All these things have been made, and I don't have to watch them struggle through remaking them. They just all make it. And now that they have like now that he's the chief or whatever, I think he
married into the village, and then he became the god of the village because of his dad.
The entire the entire village is behind them. So like he has a giant force of like laborers that help him make everything. So it's no longer like hey, it's only 2 of us or 3 of us making stuff. So yeah, I like the show. I'm excited to see what happens to Mr. Dr. the Stone, the 3rd Junior. Yeah. Other thing I watched, me too. I watched Horimiya.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that show. I really like it.
I only got to see the 2nd episode. I didn't watch the 3rd one.
That's fine.
He meets I don't know. I think, is her name Hori? Is that her name? I don't know what her name is.
Well, here's the thing. It wasn't the whole episode about not knowing his name.
Izuki, yeah, they find out. But the beginning of the episode was, and then the last.
Her name is Hori. Yeah,
yeah. They meet her mom. She seems pretty cool, I guess. I don't know. It's good. It's a good show. I like the way it looks. I like the intro a lot. It's really, I don't know, pretty.
Yeah, I really like this show in general. It's one of the shows that I look forward to each week to just be like a nice thing to pop on.
Yeah.
I know that I'm not going to get anything that's like over the top dramatic. It's going to be a nice, easy watch. It's got sweet characters. It has jokes that I like to giggle at. It's got cool music. I'm into it. It's just a good little rom-com.
Right. The last show I watched was the the Egg Show.
Wonder Egg Priority.
Wonder Egg Priority. Show's great. I watched 2 episodes. I am convinced that part of the fight animations that are her part are done in some of them are done in 3D. Okay, I specifically saw a point where she gets thrashed by this big tittied monster, and she flies across the gymnasium and lands on the wall. And I go, "That's 3D animation. No one can tell me otherwise." But it looks great.
I believe it.
The artwork's amazing. The way it's shot, like the way it's framed and everything in picture is great. The character design's great. It's sick, dude. It's a good show for good people. Go check it out.
Yeah, shout outs to Cloverworks for pretty much killing every single show that they get their hands on.
Yeah,
they crushed that shit, dude.
A lot of people don't know who they are. They're a small mom and pop, animation studio. Never heard of them. They don't do much, but you should support them.
I love how they were like announced. It was just like A1 Pictures meets Trigger, and then we all watched Darling in the Franxx, and then A1 Pictures was like, yeah, so anyways, we are separating into A1 Pictures, the team that you know and love, and Cloverworks, this little team that's worked on, a few things. Have you guys seen Sword Art Online? Maybe you're more familiar with, Anohana, or like, and they just like listed off a bunch of really hard-hitting A1 Pictures shit.
Yeah.
And then it turns out retroactively, all that shit is now Cloverworks, and Cloverworks has been killing it ever since.
It was a studio within a studio, right? Like for the long, it was like a group.
Yeah, it was like it was like, oh yeah, you're our B team.
Yeah, and they were just killing it. So yeah, Cloverworks, check them out. That show's fucking killer. I know a 3rd episode just came out, but I haven't seen it.
Me either.
I'm excited, man. And I've just realized like there's a lot of anime out there, at least this season for me, that I want to watch.
Name one more. I'll make an argument and I'll give you one. Cells at Work, Code Black.
Oh, I was gonna say the other one was fucking. Is it Skate the Infinity? I really want to.
Yeah, I know, but see, everything changed after the 2 most recent episodes of Cells at Work, Code Black.
Well, everything changed. Oh, because they came. Did the come happen?
Because we had the cum episode.
Did
you thought that we could get away without ejaculation in Cells at Work? Fuck no, we got that, man. But here's the thing. All the blood cells, you got to go to the penis because we're going to get an erection. We're horny. We're doing this, baby. And guess what? Erectile dysfunction.
There's not enough. There's not enough red blood cells.
It's like pushing the blood back, and then eventually, he winds up taking a pill.
Oh, Viagra shows up.
They get to go, and they inflate the penis. They ejaculate. So all the sperm cells.
Oh, I was gonna ask.
God,
did the sperm cells?
Oh my God, they're so okay. So they start out. Before they've been fully formed, they start out as a little baby in a white like swaddle, right? So it's just a little baby face that's in this white cloth, and then when they get older, imagine in your head a swan boat with a tail. They're just
swan boat. Oh, okay,
okay. They're just like this round pod with a little like dumb head sticking out of it. Like a swan head, and then they have this fucking tail that goes back.
That's good.
They're like, I'm so excited. We're gonna go get to start new life. This is great. This human body gets to reproduce. That's the whole point of the human body. This is the fucking coolest shit, you guys. And they're all stoked. And then a red blood cell is like, that's probably not what's gonna happen. It usually does not work out that way. And with this body, there's no telling what's going to happen. Gonorrhea! Next episode!
No
gonorrhea!
way.
Yeah, dude. So he got gonorrhea.
That's pretty great.
And now, the one that we haven't seen yet, because the gonorrhea episode also, top notch. But the one that we haven't seen is kidney stone. So
damn it, there's so much time in the penis. Yes.
Yeah, so anyways, if you have been missing out on Cells at Work Code Black, now is the time to get in. We are doing all of the dick episodes at once. It's a fantastic time to be an anime fan.
Nice.
And then you head over to regular Cells at Work, and it's just the cutest, sweetest little whatever. And then they're like, yeah, I mean, we're kind of dealing with a pimple up in here,
Up on our penis.
But then it turns out that, like, pus is a bunch of dead white blood cells.
Oh.
So there's like mountains of dead dudes, but it's all good. This is the kid show. This is the family friendly one.
That's wild.
Yeah, so that's a pretty wild show. Skate the Infinity has just become so much fun. The more episodes you watch, the more you realize, oh, our main character doesn't really give a fuck about skateboarding. He does, but what he's really into is making cool skateboards.
Nice.
This guy is a technician, and then the hot boy is our new skateboarder that's going to kick everyone's ass. And man, what a fun show. It's so charming, and just, it's going to be good. It's Bones, so the colors are popping.
Mm-hmm.
It's got such fluid skating animation. It's sick as fuck. Have you watched more of it?
No, I haven't gotten around to that.
That's pretty good.
Sorry, dude.
No. You don't have to be sorry, man. It's a good time, and I'm excited for you to get there when you get there. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's all I've been watching. I can't remember another show.
But all of them are great. We're having a great time with all of them.
Oh my god, they're so good. Like, that's the thing that keeps blowing my mind, is how many good shows there are to watch each week. Not like I've had a lot of shows to watch in these past seasons, but it's been like, all right, so I'm going to check out for 3 different shows, and then I'm going to join back in at this one, and we'll see how I feel about that one. It's like 50-50 if I'm really into it or not. Oh yeah, Other Side Picnic.
Yeah, that's
it's
another
good.
one I want to watch. Yeah.
It's good. I'm having a good time with it. But it's really hard for me to care as much about that when I have Wonder Egg Priority, which is doing a lot of similar things, but piquing my interest far more. Yeah, excited to see more Other Side Picnic, though. And then the last thing, which I'm going to keep watching, I feel mixed. I feel very mixed, but the animation is great, and I feel like the storytelling keeps me engaged, but it's so hard to support a main character like this. I'm talking about Jobless Reincarnation.
Yeah.
It's rad as fuck. It's this fantasy world, but it's also very sexualized, and our main character is like a huge pervert. It shows moments of him in his past life, and he was kind of a shitty dude who was also like made fun of and bullied constantly. But from what I understand, and this is the reason that I'm going to keep watching it, from what I understand, this show winds up turning into nice guy gets better.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so he stops being such a fucking like incel shut-in nice guy, and he's just like actually becoming a decent person. Okay. But we did get like a teenage girl masturbating to his parents having sex in the second episode. So there are moments like that happen where I'm like, yeah, I just, I don't know. I feel so conflicted at times, man. It's weird as fuck. But I'm also like, yeah. And I'm also like, who's to say that a teenage girl wouldn't be cranking one out to some hot people having sex, like, dude, right next to her.
They're pretty hot too. Like, there's some hot parents.
Yeah, I mean, they're previously they were adventurers, and they adventured their whole life out, and they're still ripped as fuck and like slender
want to have
as
sex
hell
all the time. Yeah,
Bone City. But yeah, the second episode, it really sped past a lot of shit, and it's just like, all right, well, you are now a legendary water magic user at the age of fucking 5 or whatever. he can summon a giant storm.
Nice.
Which is cool. Amongst a bunch of other cool water spells. That was his last little thing. And it got fucked up. Like, here's the thing. it has those messed up moments of like sexuality where I'm like, it's a little too over the top. He's saying some creepy shit. Not super into that. And then we go through all the cool magic and like the story and kind of where our character is supposed to go with his life. And then when they're out there, they're like doing this spell and they leave the horse by the tree. And she's essentially like, all right, this is going to be a super dangerous spell. Let's go ahead and do it. And she does it, and it summons a big storm. Then lightning strikes the horse, and it's like all down and dying, and they have to go over and heal it. And I'm like, Jesus, dude, that's fucked up. Like, it wasn't just like it strikes it and it's like lying there dead. It's like it strikes it and it's whimpering
in pain,
and they're like trying to. Oh my god, it was fucked up. So there are some moments that are like very real and very like. Very emotionally driven, I guess, in the show. And it keeps giving me hope that there's going to be some really good stuff in there. But you have to kind of weed through all the horny pervert bullshit. So I'm going to keep watching it.
Yeah.
I've committed to that so far. But I have no idea how I feel about it. The highs are so high and the lows are so low for me. But the animation is so good. Every quality of the animation and music and sound and all of that is great. The storytelling is interesting. The sex elements are
great.
Way too heavy. Like they got way too many going on. It's wild. Anywho, I think that's all the anime that I've been watching.
Nice, dude.
Do you wanna talk about in any more, or are we talking about news?
Let's do news, man.
All right, let's get into the news. Juan's favorite anime series, Nana, has been licensed and is being saved by Sentai. Nana has been unable to be watched except for on the old 7 Seas, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's back.
That's funny.
People are so stoked.
That's so funny. I don't know what it is about Nana and people's huge like love for it. I think it looks so fucking ugly. Kind of like akin to like Clanad. Like just like what an ugly design.
I actually really like the style.
I don't like it.
It's very shoujo. I don't know. I like the style. I've never watched the show. Mm-hmm. I don't really remember what you've told me about it, but you know,
it's like from what I remember, it's like about a chick named Nana who moves to the city and becomes roommate with another chick named Nana, and she's like the lead singer in a band, and she's like bad, and the regular Nana's like, I want to be bad too, I think, or I don't know. That's how little I cared about it. It was in the time of my life where I was like, I'll watch whatever anime I can legally get my hands on, and it just happened to be one of those animes that was there, and I remember watching it and being like, no, I don't care how fucking desperate I am to watch anime. I'm not watching this shit. But hey, man, congratulations. Like I said, I know people love Nana, so it's cool that it's being saved and people can actually watch it now the proper way. What else you got?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Anyways, people are very excited about this, not only because of Nana, but because of VAP, an anime producer that owns the rights to Nana. Mm-hmm. VAP also owns the rights to Monster, which is a show people have been trying to watch legally for years and haven't been able to do that. So this is possibly going to be... I guess they've done a lot of other shows from this studio, or this producer. But yeah, Sentai will hopefully save Monster, and people are very, very stoked about that. So if you're a Monster fan, fuck yeah, dude. Maybe there's a chance. Maybe it's coming out.
That is a show that I have actually been wanting to watch, and I actually do remember watching. I think like
we watched a small handful.
Yeah, I think we watched at least 6 or 7. But I want to watch more of it. It's just one of those shows that like it's kind of old, so it was for sure out of at least my wheelhouse. But if I remember what I watched, it was good, and people say it gets better. But yeah, I would like to watch it legally in one of the many streaming sites that I am a part of. I don't want to just go to some fucking shady website. That's not the business.
Not anymore. It used to be back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And it almost is at this point. Like,
sometimes.
How many services do you pay for?
Okay. Hulu.
I pay for so fucking many, dude.
Funimation. I don't pay for High Dive. You pay for High Dive. I think specifically for anime, like 3. I think.
Not specifically for anime. We're talking about
just in general.
All services.
Okay, here we go. I don't know, like 7, maybe 8.
Yeah, it's too many.
Yeah.
It's way too many. It used to be Netflix, and then everything else came out, and then we're all like, yeah, Crunchyroll. I mean, we're anime fucking people. We gotta watch it on Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, not to go on about that for too long, but another piece of news. Would you like one?
Yes.
Hell's Paradise Jigokuraku is getting an anime. People are stoked about this.
Yeah, I think I heard about this. I don't know. I'm not very familiar with the property, but it's not, I'm interested. I'm excited. I'm always excited when like something gets announced and like there's already like a huge fan base with it, because like, okay, cool. If they have a huge fan base, they must have done something right.
Yeah, it's got to have some kind of merit.
Yeah, there has to be a reason why everybody's like super excited for it. It's just kind of like Promised Neverland when it got announced to be a show. People were like, "Oh my god, yes!" And I was like, "Oh, cool, something to be hyped about that I normally been hyped about."
And a couple of pieces of information about that got me to read it, and now it's one of my favorite things I've read.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So people are stoked about this because it's a very dark show. So I think that you and I might really like it.
Cool.
Whenever we get a darker themed show, I'm very interested to see how they handle certain stuff. Some really work for me. Other ones don't. Dororo worked for me on like so many levels. And then there was that other one that was on Amazon around the same time where the guy sewed those ladies' heads to his shoulders and was assaulting that other lady.
Was it Pet?
No, that was another dark show that was intriguing but didn't work for me. No, this one was some like it was some very like Japanese by the river or like moonlight situation.
Well, I have no idea what you're talking about. Japanese by the river moonlight situation. Somebody sewed someone to his shoulders.
It's one of those shows that people will randomly ask you about, and they'll be like, "Hey, what do you think of this thing?" And then you go, "Oh, I fucking hated it. What about you?" And they're like, "It was really good." You're just like, yeah, what'd you think of Baki? Have you seen Baki? It's one of those situations.
You mean one of the best fighting animes out there? Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those where somebody's just like, it sounded interesting. And you're like, really? Out of like all the anime? And I know you haven't seen much. That sounds really interesting to you? Well, go ahead and watch it, I guess. It's one of those. Anyways, it's going to be really dark. Hopefully it's dark in the way that we enjoy. Crossing my fingers. Another anime has been announced. GGWP, Young Ladies Don't Play Fighting Games, has been announced. People are stoked, but it's also super short. So, don't know how long it's going to be. It's... people said, isn't it like 10 chapters? And other people are like, not even 8. Oh. So, it's 8 chapters long.
Maybe every episode would be like 3 minutes long, so...
Yeah. But we'll check it out. It could be a Yuri show. It could not be. But that's another thing. GGWP, for all you gamers out there, means good game well played. Just a fun gamer fact for all of you guys. Hey, we like the Oscars. We watch them every year as a podcast, and then we talk about them. That's a new thing we do because of the animated feature category that... sometimes includes anime.
That anime always gets snuffed. Yeah, it's like, hey, this year for animated feature category, up there, it's like Ride Your Wave, or like, what is it? That's another one. One that got nominated.
Your Name.
Your Name. There's another one. The one with the people that like, there's Rainy Boys and Smiley
Weathering
Girls.
With You.
Weathering With You is like, and the winner is whatever fucking Pixar made this year. All right.
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, Soul was a good movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, Demon Slayer, Earwig and the Witch, Lupin the Third, On-Gaku, Ride Your Wave, A Whisker Away are all submitted to be animated feature Oscar award winners. We will see if their submissions carry any weight other than just that.
They might just get nominated. I mean, for sure some of them are going to get nominated, maybe like a couple of them, but they're going to lose to whatever Pixar thing got dropped, because the Academy, where the fuck those old geezers, just they don't fucking care. They always pick shit that like their friends make. Do I think A Whisker Away deserves a win? Fuck no. Do I think fucking Lupin the Third part, the first? Maybe. I haven't seen it. I don't know what else he said. What else you got?
Why do you want more news all the time, man? We're done. That was the news.
Oh, thank God. You see, I never know. Sometimes you go like, oh, and then you go, actually, I have more. Anyways.
Oh, actually.
Fucking Christ. Let's talk about this week's topic.
What is it? What is it?
Oh, this week, I didn't hear that part. I was like, this week's topic, we're talking about the the Crunchyroll Awards, what was nominated, what we picked, and what we picked for the awards, but then what we would actually pick.
Woo woo! And honestly, a lot of them kind of overlap.
Yeah, which is kind of pleasant.
I think that's great. Yeah, because that means that Crunchyroll's putting a lot of the shows up there that people do think should win those kinds of awards. Mm-hmm. Super important, but look, man, last year was a weird one because we had some heavy hitters. We had some really good shit, but there wasn't that much. Like, I had a good time with a lot of shows, but not like oh, dude, you gotta go see this. Kind of good.
There were some really good shows, and then because of last year with with COVID and stuff, it makes sense that a lot of stuff, at least near the beginning of the year, was pushed back. So when we were looking back at our old notes, we're trying to figure out what we actually watched. We kind of quickly saw that, holy shit, like the first 2 seasons of last year were like super light on our end. Like I think I watched
maybe like 4 shows.
I think for winter, or for spring, I watched literally 2 shows. Like that's like the least I've ever done for a season.
I remember when that was happening too, because I was so surprised that you were only watching 2.
I was like, there's other stuff out there, but I don't want to watch this. I don't fucking care.
It's not your steez, dog.
So there was. I would say like, there were some really good shows. There were also not as many shows I feel like that we would normally watch. I want to say something about the Crunchyroll Awards that I think I mentioned, at least I try to mention every year. I do think it's super cool that they put this on. They are, even though they've been having, I know, not the best luck, and we call them not the powerhouse of anime anymore. They are pretty much the forefront when it comes to us wanting to watch anime. So it's cool that they do this. I also think it's super cool that they include animes that aren't on their service. Because it's called the Crunchyroll Awards, the Anime Awards, yeah. And it's great that they do shows that are like on Netflix and fucking Prime and shit. It's like they don't have to do that. Because some of the other shows that are on on the other fucking platforms are better than the shit that they have up there. I do think sometimes it's a little biased when it comes to the nominations, and I go, really? This show got nominated for that? But again, I'm not in charge of making the nominations. I'm just here to vote and kind of say my 2 cents about what I think about the nominations and what should win. So
true.
Let's get into that. Let's fucking run it from the top.
All right. Should we? I mean, this is just the order that popped up. Crunchyroll, essentially, if you would like to predict the winners of the Crunchyroll Awards, you're able to go and do that on their website right now. And this is the order that they had for those categories.
Okay.
So that explains why things might be a little bit different than the way you voted. Doesn't matter. That's the way you put it. Fuck it. I'm also going to do a thing where we pop quiz each other on what studio made the shows and what else the studio has done, because these are really good shows and we should be aware, right?
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool. So, starting off, 2020 Best of Anime of the Year, Great Pretender. That's my vote.
Yeah. I also voted for Great Pretender.
Off of Crunchyroll's list.
Yes, Crunchyroll's list. Their nominations for the year was, Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, Jujutsu Kaisen, Dorohedoro, Great Pretender, Apara Ranman, and then Beastars. I really like the fact that Apara Ranman was on there because I really fucking like that show. I was like super stoked. Like, no fucking way. Out of all of those shows, I can honestly say that I like all of them but one. Like, I genuinely like.
Yeah? What show don't you like?
I'm not a big fan of Jujutsu Kaisen.
Come on.
It's not bad. It's just not like something
dude,
like.
Come on.
No, it's fine. It's a great shonen, and it looks really good at times. But it's not a show that like I don't have any actual desire or drive to continue to watch it or to finish it. But the other shows up there, when they came out, and when we got around to them, I absolutely watched all of them. And I liked all of them. I liked some more than others.
Watching it, you enjoyed every second.
Mm-hmm. I think when it came down to voting, I think I had mentioned to you, like, I really fucking like Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken. Like, it was one of my favorite shows I've ever seen. The animation, the style, the characters, the fucking voice, on all points it was great.
Yes.
But I voted for Great Pretender, and like that's as my pick because when I thought about it really hard, there like which show would I absolutely watch again? I would watch Great Pretender again in a heartbeat because it has such a great story and such great characters and such great development, and there's so many episodes. And
you could kind of digest each story in like one sitting, right? Well,
Yeah.
except for the last one. The last one's a little bit dense.
Yeah.
But you could separate it out into a few episodes and just like crank a couple out, watch a couple more, and then you don't have to do it all in one day by any means. I like that element of it too for rewatchability, not for like how good the show is. The show stands on its own without me needing to provide any kind of an explanation, but we will if that's what it requires.
Yeah, and it's like another show that like again between Eizouken and Great Pretender, which one can I recommend to anybody without a doubt and like they'll absolutely love it? It's Great Pretender. I don't think Eizouken's for everybody. It's for us because like we like that kind of stuff. We like all the visual stuff. We like the great characters of wackiness. We also love the director and like what he does. We appreciate him, but not everybody's gonna feel the same way about that. And Great Pretender is like, hey man, absolute banger. It's like on the same level of like Erased, you know, where it's just like this is a show where like even if you don't like anime, I think you'll actually like this show. Like you could, and it's on Netflix. It's so readily available to everyone.
Dude, just check it out. Do you remember what studio did Great Pretender and what else they have done in the past?
Great Pretender. No, I don't remember. If you tell me the studio, I could probably tell you what they made.
Well, here's the thing. Can I tell you what they've made?
Yeah, okay, let's do that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Attack on Titan.
Oh, okay. Fucking Mappa.
So close.
Gotcha. No, this is fucking. What are they fucking called?
I'll help you out more.
No, I got this. Mappa. They also made. It's on Mappa. They did. Fuck, dude. How do I not? Give me another one.
After the Rain.
After the Rain. You son of a bitch. It's just going to be an episode where Trip just shits on me the whole time because he knows that I don't know the names of this.
It's okay. This is instilling that, like, you will
it's
remember.
Wit Studio. It's Wit.
Yeah, dude. It's Wit Studio. And they've also done a bunch of other really beautiful, super cool stuff. But Great Pretender stands on its own as, like, a visual style, as a storytelling medium that they haven't really explored before. So I really appreciated that. Where if you were to watch, what the fuck is that stupid train show called that I like?
Fucking Snowpiercer.
Yeah, Snowpiercer. So if you were to watch Snowpiercer.
No. Cabanera the Iron Fortress.
Thank you. Cabanera the Iron Fortress. I feel like it borrows a lot of elements from Attack on Titan. For example, just like Great Pretender feels so unique and so good, and it's an original show. Yeah, just fucking watch it. It's incredible.
I think it hits on so many points where like it's really hard to not give it the win. You know, like and you're gonna really quickly see a motif with our votes and how they went. And there's a point where you and I were talking and we're like, I don't want to give this category also to this show. And I was like, fuck it. If they were better than the other shows, give it to them. They deserve it. Who gives a shit? Like, I'm not going to coddle the other shows. Like, well, you didn't win one, so I'm not going to. Fuck you. You should do better.
No, I completely agree with that. Mm-hmm. All right. So what is that? That's what we voted for the Crunchyroll awards. Mm-hmm. What is your best, like your favorite anime of 2020?
It's the same thing. It's still Great Pretender. I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you. We had a lot of really good shows, but Great Pretender, such a consistently good time. So easy to watch. I got lost in it as I was watching it for the first time, and immediately wanted more, and hated that I had to wait. But it was like, all right, here's like a few episodes, and we'll give you a few more in 3 months. Like,
I like how you're like, here's a few episodes. It was like 14 episodes, which was still
they only gave us like 2 to 14 episodes.
They gave us 3 story arcs, and you're like, God, those sons of bitches,
those motherfuckers.
It was really good though, and it's something that I feel like I can recommend to anybody. And if they don't like it, again, that's totally on them. But I think it's a great show for anybody. So yeah. Good job.
Next up,
I think Crunchyroll did a good job on those nominations. I feel like I could say that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that they did a pretty good job on this next category too. Best opening sequence. Now, out of everything they had, I chose "Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken." I assume
dude.
you did the same thing.
Fucking easy breezy, my guy.
Yeah. What else did they nominate?
Other things that were up there was the intro for Jujutsu Kaisen, the intro for Beastars, the intro for Great Pretender, the intro for Kageyama-san, Love is War Season 2, and then Haikyuu.
That's the only one I can't attest to, by the way.
Which one?
All of the others, the Love is War.
Yeah, Love is War, yeah. I think I'm on the same page where I've watched all these other shows except for that one, because it's just not for me. And all those intros, they all had like their merit, right? Like I think there's at a point where when we were talking about it, I was like, oh, what's the intro for Beastars? And it was like the stop motion. I'm like, oh, it looks so fucking good.
Yeah.
But
the drool and whatnot, like, what a good job.
But undeniably, like, keep your hands off Eizouken, like, fucking easy breezy, fucking that's so good.
But then you also look at Great Pretender and you're like, it's great because they were able to set up all of these different story elements in the intro without giving anything away. And then when you get to that part in the story, you're like, oh, yeah, that's that thing. That makes sense. It was really cool experiencing that. So there were some really, really good contenders. Jujutsu Kaisen, the first time that the intro came on, I was like, whoa, this song's cool. Look at those visuals. I like that train. It's got some water. And then by the end of it, I go, so what was with that panda running on the roof? Like every single time.
You mean main character Panda Man? No, I think, and then when it comes to the Haikyuu to the top intro, I can't tell you what the visuals are. I can't tell you what the song is like. I can tell you it's good. And it probably reminds me of all the other Haikyuu intros and stuff. I mean,
that's the weird thing. All the Haikyuu intros and outros are pretty homogenous. I feel like this Haikyuu to the top season 2 or like part 2 or whatever
of season.
I felt like that outro was one of the best that the show has ever had. But anyways, the intros are all so homogenous that it's really hard to separate it. And because of that, if you see it, you'll go, okay, sure. That's a Haikyuu intro.
Yeah.
Can't tell you where.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you played a Haikyuu intro song for me, I could probably be like, yeah, that's Haikyuu. I can't tell you what season because they kind of all sound the same.
Yeah.
But it's not
a bad thing. I love Haikyuu intros. But anyways, back to Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken.
Oof.
The song starts up. You're immediately like, ooh, this is unique and goofy, and I could sing along to this. Okay. And then all the characters dancing and wiggling and the psychedelic, like, spinning effects and whatnot. Holy shit, the intro's so cool.
Yeah, I remember we watched, like, a small clip of... I think it was like an Italian guy who was living in Japan who made the intro. He's like, yeah, they asked me to make the intro animation, and so I did or whatever, 'cause that's my job. And he's talking about like, we had to do the special effect for like, there's this weird holographic effect that kind of happens. He goes like, how did you guys do that? And he goes, we just kind of bought this film. And he holds it up. It's like a piece. It's just like a paper shape that's like the holographic. He's like, we just kind of waved it in front of the camera. It's like, we probably could have done it in the computer, but this was a lot easier. I was like, that's fucking wild. It's like they went out of the box when it came to making this thing.
I love when they combine mediums of like animation and full film, and can pull it off really well.
Yeah, and I think it was super colorful. A show I really like and intros I really like from the show is Mob Psycho 100, especially the second part, like the second season's intro. The colors and stuff are so vibrant, and like Eizouken had like the same vibes where like there was just so many beautiful colors in it. The animation was like kind of like funky looking, but it's like, oh cool, that's the charm of the show. And just like I said, like because this is like an opening, like favorite opening, this is absolutely something like I just personally, right? Because when it came to best animation and anime of the year, I was just like,
God, it's so good.
Like,
but
I was like, which one would I give it to? Like, and I had to like consider a bunch of things. Like, can I like recommend this to people because it's just OP and it doesn't fucking matter. Like, I was like, this is my vote for sure, hands down. I'm sorry, I forgot to say when you're talking about how like you notice things after you kind of get through the story through Great Pretender, and you're like, wow, there's the boats and there's the fucking like you don't even like really kind of put them all together. What blew my mind was when we get to the part where like it's the last heist, that we had to wait 3 months.
Yeah, they're like cards intro. And stuff. And
yeah. It's the same intro and there's still stuff from that one. I go, oh my God, I honestly like thought I dissected everything. Like everything there, I know exactly what it is. And then to find out.
And you're like, that's just a visual. And then you go, oh, that's a story element. Very cool. Way to go, Great Pretender.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what else you do.
So really, I think like also... I can say the OPs that they had for nominations here, besides Love is War, which is something we don't watch. I feel like we're good nominations. I when I was trying to think of like a list of like what show I'm gonna vote for myself that's not my Crunchyroll votes or whatever, I try to think of other shows, but I was like, no, they got some solid shows there. So
yeah, and I mean, I had what I did to prepare for this. I printed out and highlighted all the different shows and made sure that like I didn't have any of the ones that you watched. And then I put extra emphasis on the ones that I really enjoyed in general. And I went back and I actually looked at all the intros and outros to all these shows to make sure that I wasn't doing anything. Like I wasn't forgetting something just because
like
I'm
banger,
being dumb. Yeah. And some hidden gem of like oh yeah, I remember that intro. It was sick as fuck. Man, I'm not going to vote for an intro for a show that I didn't watch. I don't know if there's anything that's cooler out there than the intro for Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, but that's the only one.
Yeah.
Hey, what else has that studio done?
Fucking, this is Science Saru, I think, right?
Yeah.
They got the funny little, like, little, is it a monkey thing that, like, walks on all fours or whatever?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay, so this is our boy. So he did 90 Short Walk On Girl, and I think they also did Tatami Galaxy. That's
more than enough. Moving on. Yeah, no, just amazing. We love. Oh fuck, what is his name? He doesn't have a name. Don't worry about it. We love the
director.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Makoto,
but we love everything.
No. Makoto. Oh fuck! I was about to say Makoto Shinkai, but that's not.
I know you were. Yeah, his name is
Masaki Yuasa
right now.
Masaki Yuasa.
Yeah, Yuasa. All of Yuasa's stuff. We love all of that. Everything that Science Saru has done has been really intriguing at the very least. But they have some absolutely incredible movies and shows. Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, coming out the same year as Japan Sinks, like both Yuasa things. And then Ride Your Wave. I don't know if that's a part of any of these categories because technically it came out in 2019. But that was also an incredible thing. Just very, very prolific and making these great shows and movies. Anyways, continuing on. The best ending sequence.
Okay.
What did you vote for?
So my vote for best open ending sequence was the ending to Jujutsu Kaisen.
I think I already shared it last week. I spite voted for Millionaire Detective.
Wait, really?
On the Crunchyroll Awards.
On the Crunchyroll Awards. Okay.
Yeah. I spite voted on the Crunchyroll Awards.
Can you tell me why? Can you explain the spite vote?
No.
Because fuck them. That's why.
I was just like, it's not fair. Why does this really okay show with great animation have such a better outro than this show that has the best song as the outro?
Can I just say that it's very funny that you can admit that the song for the outro of Millionaire Detective is so much better than the visuals. Like you
so much better.
That you've said to yourself, like, like, yeah, visuals suck, but this fucking song, I've heard you sing it for like months, just like
I sang it in this episode.
Okay, so things that got the nominations for this one for the best ending sequence was the ending to. By the way, these all have like names of like what their names are and who did it. I'm not going to say that because I don't fucking care. I'm just going to tell you what the shows are. So the ending for Jujutsu Kaisen, the ending for Great Pretender, the ending for BNA, Brand New Animal, ending for Dorohedoro, the ending for The Millionaire Detective, Balance Unlimited, and then the ending for Inspector.
You know what? I gotta be honest. All of these make a lot of sense, except for Millionaire Detective. I don't know why that's in there.
The song's
100%. The song, honestly though, the song carries so much weight. Mm-hmm. It's a hard intro to, if you're just looking up like that. Sorry, the outro. If you're just trying to look up the outro and you just want to see that like minute and a half outro sequence, you can't do it. It's not anywhere. You could just find the full song. You have to actually go to the show to watch the outro, which is not the case for any of the other shows that I watched from 2020.
Well,
yeah.
What's funny is that when I was voting for the Crunchyroll Awards, they also do a thing where you can just read what the nominations are and then vote for them. But they also have like a little like you can play a video. It's like, hey, these are the nominations. They'll show little clips of it. So all of the outros for that were nominated had a clip of the show. The only one that didn't was The Millionaire Detective. It just had a still image of the show and then the song playing. I feel like maybe even Crunchyroll was like, hey man, it's not about the visuals. It's about this fucking bomb song.
It's so good, you guys.
Okay, so when it comes to things on this list, I like Jujutsu Kaisens because the song's really fun. The animation is like our characters doing stuff that they normally wouldn't do, which is like kind of dancing, going about their day. And I just love the rotoscoped image of like the colors not being in the line. It's really fun.
It's so good, you guys.
It's so good.
It's
I remember like watching Jujutsu Kaisen and being like, this show's okay. Like I'm not loving it. And then the ending would come in and I'd be like, man, this fucking ending though, like it caps it off with like a really good taste in my mouth. And I go, man, I like that ending.
Yeah, the intro's that's like too. The reason that you keep watching it. And then when it does the little after the credits like goofs, I immediately have a bad taste in my mouth.
I forgot. I think I skip it at that point. But you're right. I go, why would they do this? Okay, so that's a good outro. We talked about this. The Great Pretenders outro is this song by Freddie Mercury. Good song. You're not the biggest fan of Queen. But I think that the downfall of this thing is like the visuals aren't that fun. It's like cats jumping in water and swimming and singing and stuff. And I don't know. It just really doesn't do too much for me.
Yeah, well, because it's the best ending sequence, not the best like song, not the best animation. It's like everything.
Combination of both of them, yeah.
Honestly, after watching all of Great Pretender, the outro was really good. The outro fits with the last story arc of the show. It surprised me how much I enjoyed that. Mm-hmm. But the intro's so much better.
It's a lot better,
like, way better.
Let's see what's next. So for BNA, I think it's just like the girl running.
It's sick. It looks good. It's a bunch of different characters running and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like the way that the shots are framed look really good. It's a sick outro, but when it comes down to it, I didn't remember it.
Yeah, I can't remember it honestly. So it's next was Dorohedoro. So for this, I
do remember several
outros, and I think one of the outros I really liked was an outro where like it's like Doom-esque and like the characters
it's like mushrooms
it's turning
Doom
things into mushrooms and
it's
eating
the bad guy. Yeah
it was really fun. I also remember there's one like with zombies and there was dancing with but the thing is
there's like one running down a hallway forever, and
the inconsistency of like me not knowing what outro they're talking about specifically, like they didn't make it clear. I mean, I guess they did, but I don't know. I feel like I would have liked one really good outro instead of like a couple okay ones and like two bad ones. I don't know. I don't even know how many they had, but
I don't know anything.
Didn't vote for that. Like I said, Millionaire Detective, didn't even watch it. We already talked about it. You fucking loved it. Spite vote. And then I didn't watch Inspector. I watched the first episode, but
the outro to that was cool. It was just them like dancing and singing, and it felt like very different than the tone of the show, which is why people really liked it. So I totally understood why that was on there.
Yeah.
I think that Crunchyroll just put that on there because it was a Crunchyroll show, personally.
Visual. Maybe, yeah. Let's see. Crunchyroll on this list has only two. Yeah, that and Jujutsu Kaisen because, Great Pretender and Dorohedoro are Netflix. I think B&A is also Netflix, right? And then Millionaire Detective,
which is Funimation.
Funimation. So yeah, maybe they just like, hey, let's throw ourselves in there. I don't know.
So what do you like for your personal?
My personal vote, I think it's still Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's a really good outro, fun song, fun visuals. It comes real together, and like we were saying, it's my favorite part of the show.
So good. Every time it comes on, and then sexy wearing the blindfold boy,
dude, he's so hot.
He's so fucking smooth and ooh those movements, dog. Ooh, he's just
doing the body rolls. Like, okay,
he's just grooving.
Okay,
we're like chilling. We're drinking boba or whatever, man. We're just grooving, drinking boba. Yeah, it's such a good time. The studio Mappa made it. They've done things such as Attack on Titan,
final season. They've
that's
done Kids on a Slope, which is one of my faves.
Yeah, it's true. That's it.
Those are the only two shows they did.
So yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen definitely has the best ending sequence, which was, I mean, it's a bummer for me because I wanted to show that I enjoyed more to be on there. But there's no denying how good the intro and outro are to that show. Right. The songs alone are so good. Anyways,
what's next, man?
Best Director. Who directed your favorite directed show or movie?
I'm trying to get to let me see, the part that says the nominations. So I think I voted for Best Director was the director of Great Pretender.
Oh, really?
Hiro Kaburagi. Yeah, for the Crunchyroll Awards, I voted for him.
Very interesting. Me too.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm trying to still find the... who the other directors
you find
are.
Whatever you need. Probably Yuasa and
So here are the other shows that got nominated for Best Director. Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, Decadence, Jujutsu Kaisen, Great Pretender.
Decadence was an interesting one.
Yeah, season 2 of Love Is War, and then Tower of God.
Lots of interesting.
I think the most surprising one there is Decadence. I don't think I heard too much buzz about it. I did hear people liking it. I started watching it. I think I'm going to wait till it's all dubbed and watch it that way. Because maybe...
I like that idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to have to read it all. I'd rather just hear it. If I'm not interested, just kind of tune out.
Plus, there were some parts that were kind of stupid. And whenever it's a little stupid, it just becomes so much easier to process all that when you're watching in English.
For sure.
I don't know. To me, at least, I don't know. I take things more seriously when I'm reading them in general. Like my internal
monologue is just
situation. Yeah.
And for this one, like I said, I instantly can write off Love Is War because I didn't watch it. And when it came down to Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken and Great Pretender, I was like, well,
that was the hardest. Yeah.
I really like Masaki Yuasa and stuff. I think he's a great director, but I gave best anime of the year to Great Pretender. That means it has to have the best director. It just it made sense to me that those two kind of came hand in hand. I
thought of it in that regard as well. But I think that it's important to note that Masaki Yuasa has done things that I've enjoyed more than Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken.
Yeah.
Fantastic director. If this was up against Night a Short Walk On Girl or Tatami Galaxy, something like that, I would absolutely vote for Yuasa.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Just for people who are wondering, I don't want to make this person feel bad, but the person who directed Great Pretender's name is Hiro Kaburagi, and he did stuff like 91 Days. Let's see something else. He did some stuff. He did some Hunter x Hunter stuff. And I don't know, Great Pretender, obviously. That's just a quick download. So the guy's made other stuff. I've never really heard of him, but because Great Pretender was so good, I had to give him my vote for best director for the year. So
yeah, and then I also gave him my personal vote.
Yeah, me too.
Honestly, Great Pretender was just, it surprised the hell out of me. And for Yuasa, we have expectations, and I feel like he absolutely met those, but he didn't. I wanted to watch each episode of Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, but I wasn't 100% gripped, There were times where didn't really care as much. But I loved the different directions that he went with like chase scenes. He did a lot of really good chase scenes, and
he
then
did a lot of really good like dream sequences. That I was like,
that's
man.
the next thing. Yeah, the whole like, okay, now she's imagining stuff, and now they're in there, and all the like, all those sound effects that they were doing. It was really fun to watch. Yeah,
I also really liked whenever they showed us the anime they were working on. Like when we got lost into those kinds of worlds, I was like, yeah, cool. That's super impressive. They dumbed down the effects to the point for us to believe like, hey, some high school students made this, and then those would evolve into dream sequences and they would blow up and become bombastic. I was like, this is really cool. So yeah, mad props to him. But still, my vote was for the Great Pretender, dude.
Best character design.
Okay, so for my Crunchyroll vote, I voted for Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken. Like that was my vote.
I can't remember since it's all out of order from what they did before. I'll find it. I voted for Great Pretender out of their options.
Yeah, so their nominations were Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, Great Pretender, Toilet Bound Hanaka-kun, BNA Brand New Animal, Tower of God, and then Yashahime, the fucking Princess Half Demon, this fucking.
You got this.
Oh, what's his name?
Oh, Sierra knows it.
It's Inuyasha.
Yeah, it is.
Jesus Christ. This
Yashahime.
This one was kind of. I don't think it was. Maybe it was tough. I don't remember. I don't recall. But
it was a little tough for me. I changed my vote.
Did you? I didn't watch the Inuyasha spinoff, so I was like, cool, can write that one off. I did like Toilet Bound Hanaka-kun for a hot minute. Like I liked the way things looked.
Their visual style was really rad in that, and it was cool seeing that on this list. Because if I was familiar with Japanese myth and whatnot, and I watched that show, I feel like I would have been so intrigued to be like, ooh, I wonder how they did this kind of a creature, or this ghost or whatever. Because they had some really cool design overall.
Yeah, and we had Great Pretender, which is looks great. Brand New Animal also looks really good, done by Trigger. Tower of God, which I wasn't really expecting to love as much as I did, but it looked fucking gorgeous. I'm actually kind of surprised that Tower of God wasn't in the nominations for best anime, just because I feel like it was so popular. It
wasn't.
Yeah, I guess. Anyways, but when it came down to it, I had to pick Eizouken for the simple fact that one of the characters had a backpack that was made out of 2 sneakers, and she wore her glasses on her forehead. Fucking killed it. It was such a cool show to just like look at. The all of it just oozed just style, and I was just like, fuck yeah. So
I am with you, man. That's a good vote.
The designs are something I really fell in love with that show. So that's why I voted for them for Crunchyroll. And I think that's probably also my vote for, I have to check, but I'm pretty sure that's also what I voted for like best designs. So what about you, bud? What did you vote for best designs?
Well, I changed my vote from Great Pretender. I went with Tower of God.
Oh, good shit. Yeah,
I realized that show had so many designs of not just main characters or anything, but of all these little background and side characters that I just wanted to see for a second. I mean, I remember back in the one of the first events where we were seeing these characters face off against each other and trying to kill each other. Mm-hmm. And there's just this giant fucking blob person. I was like, cool. I wonder what's up with that giant thing with like eyes all around its head or whatever. Yeah. I don't remember exactly what it was, but there were so many cool designs. It just really kept me intrigued in the world and wanting to know more. The first princess we meet looks fucking awesome. And then we meet more princesses and they look fucking awesome. And then Rachel's in a wheelchair and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, man, it does look really cool, and I do think that show, absolutely deserves some mad props because there were some really like out there designs, like the big fucking lizard dude with all these like humanoids, but it never felt like too like out of place. I'm also a huge fan for fucking.
There's Sleepy Boy.
Huh? Sleepy Boy. Yeah, characters who are like, asleep. So kind of like, like Eraserhead and My Hero, like he's in his sleeping bag. So this guy's like just wrapped in a blanket for so many times, and like he like wakes up every now and then and does his thing. Also,
And I love how everyone looks anime as fuck, and then there's that guy, and he just fucking, not sleepy guy, but just that guy, and he's just that guy.
fucking
He's just
bunny
a dude.
fucking bunny dude with the fucking, eyes that are teeth or whatever. Anyways, Kun, right? That's the name of the
the blue boy.
Fucking
Blue turtle.
When he takes the thing off his fucking, when he has like that one strand of blue hair and he takes it off, it turns out to be like
A ribbon.
a ribbon. I was like, wow, that's so good. Yeah, man, I agree. I really like your choice, but I still went for Eizouken.
Dude, as soon as you said like the shoes, I'm like, yeah, it's really hard to argue against that. That's a fucking genius design.
Bro, man, like it makes me want to have a backpack made out of 2 giant shoes,
Yeah, the fact that you don't have one yet is kind of upsetting, but we'll address that later.
Later, yeah, for sure.
So yeah, Tower of God was made by a studio that I can't remember right now. Probably a pretty popular studio. I'm gonna. Ooh, hang on. I just want to guess it.
I don't think you'll guess it. I don't even know who these guys are.
Really?
Yeah, never heard of them.
Who are they?
This was made in association with like the with Crunchyroll, whatever. It's in the Crunchyroll original.
Yeah.
But apparently, just looking at it says the studio that made them is some place called Telecom Animation Film. Ever heard of them?
Did they? Were they the ones that did it? Whoa.
They did Orange. They've done Lupin the Third Part 5. Yeah. They're doing Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. Yeah. People are excited for that one.
Hell yeah, dude. Always have been, always will be.
It makes sense. It's something I haven't seen. Their style is for sure different. So it kind of makes sense for it to be a studio that I'm not very familiar with. And maybe hasn't done too many things.
Yeah, this is one that I constantly forget about because whenever they come around, it's like just the random one here and there.
Out of the blue, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I always forget that this exists. So yeah, good call. They for sure are on the map, just not as much as a lot of the other things. Which kind of, in my opinion, makes me more impressed about how they handled Tower of God.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on to best animation. Why not, right?
Why not? Best animation. So the nominations are Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, The God of High School, Great Pretender, Jujutsu Kaisen, Princess Connect Redive, Beastars. That's really cool that Princess Connect Redive made it.
Also a Crunchyroll.
Yeah, just because I watched the first episode and like wasn't really feeling the story, but I really fucking liked the way everything looked and everything moved. It looked
And that's
great.
why I watched the whole show.
Yeah, if I was in a better mood, I think around that time, I would have been like, yeah, let's go fucking back to see this. But I did remember being like, wow, not for me, just story-wise, but God, does it look fucking amazing.
Yeah, it was fun. It was charming. Mostly the animation was top-notch. Also really solid character design just because like their outfits really popped and it was always fun to look at the characters move in those fast moving animation sequences or cast spells or get hit by shit. Like it was really solid to just watch these characters interact with stuff.
Right.
Anyways.
I mean, vote wise, it was really between two shows. Great Pretender and Eizouken, and I voted Eizouken, and that's just again like it's maybe just my bias, kind of coming in like, hey man,
no, it's not.
Maybe I felt guilty about not giving it best anime of the year, so I had to be like, well, I'll give it the best animation, but it has really stellar animation.
The best animation. I mean, it didn't have my favorite sequence in all of anime, but it had such incredible animation. I loved every single part of the way things looked, of the way that they did their storytelling. And that's something that we already talked about with the dream sequences and whatnot, and the chase sequences, and like just the way that everything moved. I fucking loved it, dude. And it was cool because they were also able to break down how animation works, and explain like, oh yeah, like we need reference shots for these things. Oh, help me get over there. And like, let's get some recording of this. It was just really cool how they broke things down. And I feel like the animation supported the like themes and the story of the show so well,
Yeah. I mean, you really didn't nail it on the head. Maybe it wasn't the best show because of whatever reason, because Great Pretender killed it, but the way it looked really sold me on it. Like I was just, it was like a feast. Every week was like a visual feast for my eyes. Like I can't wait to see the way they move stuff.
More than anything, yeah.
Whether it's like a boring episode, whether they don't do anything too exciting to progress the story or whatever, but like I know that I'm gonna see something like I'm gonna really love. So yeah, good shit, man.
Absolutely. What did you choose on your own time?
Same thing, man.
Same
thing.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
What about you? Did you switch it up?
Fuck yeah.
What'd you pick?
Violet Evergarden side story. Are you kidding me, dude? It's Violet Evergarden. Yeah. It's Kyoto Animation. It's almost unfair.
Yeah, I decided not to vote for movies. Just cause.
Oh, okay, that's personal choice.
Yeah, personal choice. We talked about it. You had messaged and you said, "Hey, I'm also going to be picking movies that I saw this year," and I was like, "Cool." I just had decided I wasn't going to, just for whatever reason, maybe to make it easier. But yeah. Just not muddy, because muddy up the wall. I'm like, yeah, but the length of one movie is equivalent to 12 episodes of a show, kind of thing. I didn't want to.
Sometimes it's better.
Sometimes it is, but I didn't want to think about it that hard. So I just said, you know what? For me, I'm not going to vote for movies. I guess even actually, my last vote is for a movie because you had convinced me to do it. Remember? We'll get to it. But yeah, dude, that was a fucking great movie.
Yeah. Every part of it was wonderful. It was like, it was just an extended episode and it was fucking gorgeous. It sounded beautiful. I was emotional. It had everything going for it. But when we're just talking animation, Kyoto Animation kills it every time. Ever since they popped up on my radar with The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, I knew that they had something special, and we've been going for a long time since then. And Violet Evergarden, you can watch that on Netflix and fucking get away with enjoying one of the best shows you'll ever cry to,
Yeah, I agree. That's a good one, man. I can't.
Dude, speaking of crying to shows on Netflix, best score.
Best score.
So I clearly went with Japan Sinks 2020.
Same here.
It was hard not to, because the dude who did the music for that also did the score for our favorite movie, A Silent Voice.
Yeah.
And for one of my favorite other anime films, Liz and the Bluebird.
Yeah.
This guy kills it. It's just like so atmospheric. It's something you could just throw on and it'll really, it's not necessarily like a somber soundtrack, but it reflects the atmosphere very well.
It also like magnifies it. Like there's the scene where our homeboy has to sprint before the waves crash in. Whew. And it's really quiet and the music's there. But fucking rough, honestly. Like it's just thinking about it like makes you want to, tear up and cry. But yeah, best score, Japan Sings 2020. Other things that were nominated were Tower of God, Great Pretender, Beastars, Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, and then The God of High School. And
what would you have chosen otherwise? What would you have chosen otherwise?
If God of High School wasn't there?
No.
Sorry.
Yes, if God of High School
wasn't there. I guess I mean Japan Sinks. If Japan Sinks wasn't there, fuck. I don't know. I don't really remember the music from God of High School. Or
I remember it. I remember going, "Oh yeah, this is all right."
maybe I don't know. Maybe Great Pretender. I guess I don't know.
I would personally choose Great Pretender because the song that they kept using became like a meme between Kyle, Sam, and I as we were watching it. Because every single time that there would be a big reveal, the music would come in, and then suddenly you just hear every time Bada Baba would start, it was just like fucking chaos and discord. All of us go just fucking nutso. It was so much fun.
I think this was a hard category for me because when it comes to music, it's really like the last thing on my mind. It's not that I don't like music; it's just something I don't really pay too much attention to. But and then in the opposite, like you love music, like that's something like you actively like to also make music. So it's something you appreciate a lot more than I do. But it's good that I feel like I mean, I'm assuming you also picked that for your own vote, right?
Japan Sinks, absolutely.
Yeah, it's cool.
Japan Sinks isn't the soundtrack that I'll put on when I choose something from
to play
this
video
dude.
games and have a good time.
No. Like at work, I put on the Liz and the Bluebird soundtrack. I like it because it starts off with the footsteps and the like soft piano comes in with it. I really like the way that it builds into a full length soundtrack. But then it also comes at you with the musical, or not musical, the like performance pieces that they play throughout that. It comes in with the actual Liz and the Bluebird, so it has like more dynamic music going on, where I feel like Japan Sinks 2020 is just so atmospheric and it just fits the show so well. Right. So it might not stand on its own as well, but man, it was perfect for Japan Sinks 2020.
Yeah, it also like I said, it improves the thing that it's a part of. By itself, it may not be like strong, but together it just becomes that much better. And like I was saying, it speaks a lot of volumes to the fact that like I'm not really into soundtracks, you really like them or scores, whatever. And we're both able to agree, like, hey, this one was fucking great. You know, kind of like
so
even
good.
with my lack of, you know, like I guess like knowledge of like what makes it sound good. Like I don't know, it just sounds good.
It just did. Shut up.
Yeah, made me fucking feel good. So yeah, that's a I think that was an easy one for me, honestly.
Next, best drama. Now I had to go way back for this one, but I'm saying Beastars.
Yeah, I said Japan Sinks 2020 because when I think like drama, I was like that embodies drama. Like everything in that fucking show was just like the worst, the fucking pits. And I know that you also like that show, except for the middle bit. And the middle bit does kind of drag and it kind of sucks. But if I ignore the middle bit, the show's fucking killer. Other things that were nominated for best drama were Fruit Basket Season 2, Great Pretender, Japan Sings 2020. Already said that. Sing Yesterday for Me. You said Beastars, and then lastly, Somalia and the Forest Spirit.
Which was also interesting that was thrown up on there.
I see. I didn't watch. The only one of these that I didn't like. Ones I didn't watch was Fruit Baskets and Sing Yesterday for Me. The other ones I was familiar with. Actually, I didn't watch Somalia and the Forest Spirit, but because you watched it, I felt like you
got the full experience.
The gist of it. Yeah, I was kind of surprised you picked Beastars. I thought I just kind of figured you were going to pick Somalia and the Forest Spirit.
Well, you're fucking wrong, dude. That show was forgettable.
Okay.
Look, when I go back and I look at Somalia and the Forest Spirits, I'm like,
it does nothing.
Oh yeah, it was kind of sad and it had cool characters. Maybe we'll talk about it later. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Did you change your vote for your personal thing?
No way, dude. Beastars was such a good drama. I loved it. I loved it so much. It's made by the studio Orange, and they did Land of Lustrous, and that's all I need to tell you because that's really all that I really love from them. Beastars was amazing. Land of Lustrous convinced me to read the manga. Whenever that kind of thing happens, it's always really satisfying. And that was a show that was kind of a sleeper. Anyways, Orange has only improved since then as far as like animation and whatnot go. Beastars killed it. It was so good. As I kept watching it, I didn't know what kind of a show it was going to be. It starts out and it seems like it's going to be this dark kind of like almost like thriller kind of thing, and then it turns out to absolutely not be that, and it turns into this pretty heavy drama that deals with conflicts in that world that they're in, where there are all these both carnivorous and herbivore species living together, and they're all humanoid furry type motherfuckers. But it was such an interesting story to tell because it was heavy with that like personal character drama. The plot doesn't matter for Beastars. I feel like the plot that I wanted to see, they didn't visit at all in this show. They explored some other areas. They went a whole different direction with the plot, and I was really into that. I got just wrapped up. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I just like I said, fucking Japan Sinks 2020 was just. I felt like it just, without a doubt, unequivocally was a drama, like from start to finish. So I was like, there was no mistaking it being like a comedy or like an action. It was just like, hey, it's just like a horrible drama thing. I was like, great, that's my vote. But yeah, I don't know. I guess the nominations for that category were fine. I can't really say too much bad about it.
That's all that we need to say, honestly. Yeah.
Next up,
best comedy. This one was
tough.
I mean, this one was tough. I voted for Crunchyroll's vote. I voted Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken. What about you?
For my Crunchyroll vote, I also voted for Eizouken. Best comedy category. I mean, nominees were Eizouken, Love Is War season 2, and then My Next Life as a Villainess, Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle, a show called Kakushi Goto, which was about the dude that had a daughter and he drew dirty manga. I think that was that one.
Yeah, dude, you got it.
And then the last one is the Misfits of Demon King Academy. And I didn't watch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these shows. So
I think I watched about half.
Yeah, I think you watched Sleepy Princess and you also watched Demon King and you watched Eizouken. So that's half of them.
Was that it? I thought there was one more that I watched.
You did not. You didn't watch Love Is War. You didn't watch Kakushi Goto, and you also didn't watch the what's it called? The My Life as a Villainess. So
right, yeah. Nope. So this one's a little bit harder from Crunchyroll's selection because I didn't. I mean, the weird thing about the Misfit of Demon King Academy is that it was a comedy, but like there weren't many jokes. But it was very much a comedy, so I couldn't vote for that. I didn't watch the first season of Love Is War, so I didn't watch the second season of it. After seeing the first episode, I was out. Whoopsie daisy. And then My Life as a Villainess. I liked the idea, and then after watching the first episode, I realized it's not landing for me. Sleepy Princess, it was fine. It was enjoyable. It looked really good because it was Doga Kobo. I liked a lot of the character designs and the whole concept of the show a lot. But despite it making me laugh pretty frequently, I felt like it was a weak show that I might not remember outside of that season. But then you look at something like Eizouken, and it's such a solid show in its own right. I did laugh at parts, but I wouldn't even call it a comedy. It was just the show that I enjoyed the most out of this category that Crunchyroll gave me. Yeah. Is that kind of your same conclusion?
My conclusion, like I changed my vote. I guess I just wrote it in on our own thing. I wrote Great Pretender like question mark because like I don't fucking know. I also feel the same way about like Eizouken not really being just a comedy.
You just said the same thing about Great Pretender too. Like it's not necessarily
it's not just a comedy,
but its comedic moments were better than Eizouken's.
I think so. I think like I had a good time and like I for sure laughed really hard at bits. Like the bit where like they're fucking slamming the gun against the ground will never not kill me.
It's the best sequence in all of anime. it's fucking genius. I don't know why. The second I saw it, I was like, I'm done. This might be the best show ever created.
I can die happy. Yeah. So I don't know. Is that like a cheap vote? Yeah. I mean, it's not my cheapest vote. Later on, I fucking pass on a vote. So yeah. It is what it is. I don't know. Comedy's hard because comedy is very subjective. And do I think these comedies are funny? Maybe. I didn't watch almost all of them. So this is just kind of a wash for me, honestly.
Anyways, my personal vote is I fell in love with science or whatever that one show is. You remember that show?
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
That's my vote. That one. No, I chose both for you. I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense.
Yeah,
It was just I was so interested in watching the next episode because I'm like, how are these goofy girls gonna get into another even crazier situation where they get overpowered as fuck and exploit the system? And then everyone's like, wow, these people are really good at video games. And they go, we don't know what we're doing, lol. I loved it. I had so much fun. She turns into a demon. She turns into like a mecha ship by the end of it. Just by accident, by stumbling into everything. It was so much fun. I liked the characters. I had a super fun, warm time with it. And it's a show that I'm looking forward to the second season of, like, so much. I'm anticipating the fuck out of it. And if it doesn't deliver, I don't know. I'm just saying, you might want to look out, whoever created this show that I don't remember the name of the studio who created it. Just saying, you got to look out for it a little bit. Because I got some words to say if season 2 doesn't live up to season 1, which I honestly don't. I don't know if it will. Season 1 was a nice surprise. Season 2, I feel like we've already seen the formula a little bit. I would really like to explore other areas in this world, in this show with these characters, but it's a good time.
So both Rees made by Silver Links. They've done
Silverlink. I'm like, they're one of the horny studios.
Yeah. Tanaka-kun is always listless, shit like that.
Silverlink coming at us. That Tanaka-kun always listless.
I always like the video you sent me of the Tanaka-kun voice actor singing the intro of the song, because it's like he's just like barely staying awake. Yeah,
so good.
Cool. Let's get to the next category.
Sure, why not? Best boy.
Best boy.
Best boy. I chose Kun from Tower of God.
I also
choose anything
Kun.
else.
Tower of God. That's the that's the hot boy. White hair, blue hair, blue ribbon. Light blue hair.
It's the bag man. It's the blue turtle.
Oh, the bag, the suitcase of holding will never, and multiplying apparently does everything.
It's I fucking loved it.
Yeah, I really liked him too. Nominations for that. I'm gonna just say their names if I know how to pronounce their names. If not, I'm just gonna tell you who they are.
You got this, baby.
Kaiman from Dorohedoro. I don't know, the sexy dude from Jujutsu Kaisen that has a bandana.
Oh fuck yeah, I'm with you there, dude. Oh, he's hot. Yeah, okay, keep going.
Legoshi from Beastars.
Oh, dude, wolf. I want a wolf to fuck me. No big deal. Let's go.
I think he's the main character from the Misfitted Demon King Academy.
Anos,
yeah. Yeah. And then lastly, Shoyo Hinata from Haikyuu to the top.
And you know what, man? Can we not sexualize him? Hinata's doing a great little thing, but like Best Boy has sexual connotation with it. And that's my problem with Best Boy and Best Girl, is that I feel like as soon as you definitely 100% go underage, that's kind of weird. But like in the context of the show, if you're putting yourself like in the show as one of the characters,
we'd fuck him.
I don't know how it goes, but yeah, anyways, we fucking him. No big deal.
Yeah, man. This was a tough one. I think I had to talk it through you with like it was either Hinata or Kun. But yeah, man, I think it's just he's such a cool dude. He embodies all the things that are best in the world. I don't know, man. Like I just like I
really
like
who I could imagine a future with. And
I felt like if I was in that world and things would happen, I would absolutely fuck him. So yeah, he's my vote. Best boy, dude.
100% how I feel about that topic, though. Anyways, so then I took a step back and I was like, Crunchyroll gave me some really good options, but there are more bachelors out there for me to best.
Oh yeah, who'd you vote for?
I voted for Kun from Tower of God. Because holy shit, I just see my future with him, and there's really nothing else.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Yeah, I was like, I looked at my list of other animes, I'm like, you know what? Like, it's this fucking guy right here. Even the main character from Tower of God. Fuck Bam. Bam, get the fuck out of here. We don't even fucking
get out of here, you fucking simping for Rachel ass bitch.
Get out of here, you fucking amnesia having son bitch. Get the fuck out of here.
I do like Bam though. He's pretty cool.
He's pretty cool.
He's a black turtle. Hey, he's my guy. Dude. You know.
Oh man, we should get tattoos that say black turtle and blue turtle. You know.
Oh, giant back tattoos.
Yeah, dude,
like,
okay.
Like the old style fantasy, like Japanese turtle, you know?
Yes, exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's good shit, man. He's a really good best boy. I would say the nominations so like for this is good. Even like the sexy dude from Jujutsu Kaisen, I was like, I almost voted for him, but I'm like, look, man, yeah, he's got fucking pretty eyelashes.
God, he's so hot too. Shit. The second he took his blindfold off, I couldn't help myself. I bought a ring right then and there. I sent it to him in the mail, and he still hasn't responded. So that's why I can't. Yeah, I do.
I was watching Jujutsu Kaisen, and it was the episode after he had taken off his bandana and shown his eyes. And Sierra was like doing stuff in the kitchen, and she kind of was like, "Oh, what you watching?" I was like, "Oh, fucking Tower God." I was like, "Fucking Jujutsu Kaisen." And she's just like, look at this fucking Kakashi wannabe. You know, Kakashi, you know.
No, we backing off of that one real quick, Sierra.
She's like, this Kakashi wannabe is like, oh, they're like, what's cooler than not showing one eye, not showing both eyes? And like, Sierra, I agree, it's dumb, but he's the hottest dude in the fucking world. And she's just like, oh, yeah. I was like, oh, yeah. So I stopped the episode, went back, rewinded it, and then played it. And I was like, look at how fucking hot this guy is. And Sierra's like, whoa, that guy is hot. I was like, yeah, dude. Woo. Yeah,
we got a hottie on our hands.
It was hard not voting for him. I'm not a fucking furry, so fucking Legoshi does nothing for me. Same dude with the lizard dude does nothing for me. I don't care about the Demon King. Hinata's really cool, but again, I don't know, not my boy, you know.
I was just, I don't know. I feel like best boy and best girl are such like bias categories in the first place. But anyways,
that being said,
moving on to best girl.
Best girl, here we go.
And this is one that I actually was kind of frustrated with because the show that they gave me to choose from didn't choose the one that I wanted.
The one that you wanted. Here we go. Yeah, I'll give you the nominations, and then you'll tell me what you voted for. Okay.
I already know.
Okay, so for the best girls, keep your hands off Eizouken had Sayaka Kanamori, which is the girl with the glasses.
And she's probably the best girl in that show. But if you were going from like a traditional best girl perspective,
yeah, it's hard. Rent-A-Girlfriend had Chizuri, which is the rental girlfriend.
She's the main character girl, yeah.
Yeah, had Noe, which is the super buff chick that kicks ass. This is a bad guy, I guess. I'm not very sure. I guess there was a character named Katrina Klaus from My Next Life as a Villain. She's the main character from the Villainous show. Great Pretender had Abigail Jones, and then Love is War Season 2 had some girl named Kaguya Shinamiya, which I don't know if that's a main character. I don't know.
It is. Kaguya is in the title.
Yeah, isn't Chica the main character in that show? Fucking the Chica dance.
True that, though. True that. I voted Abigail Jones. There's no way to go around that. Great Pretender. I mean, she had it all. She had like being a child of war, and do I need to say more? She was fantastic.
Yeah, she was pretty dope. I voted for the chick from Eizouken because, man, I fucking love that chick. The chick was so dope.
Dude, I loved her voice too. Just a very like drawn out, like
They drank so much milk in that show.
It was a milky show, dude.
Yeah, I really liked Abigail Jones too. I picked the Eizouken girl. I don't know. I guess I liked her more. I think it's funny that when we were talking about this and you're like, they fucked up Great Pretender, they fucked up, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And then you told me why they didn't pick the girl you like from Great Pretender, and I was like, who? And you told me her name, and I was like, I don't know who the fuck that is. And then it took me a second. I go, oh, that chick, and I go, oh, that chick's dope, but I like Abigail Jones more.
Anyway, I totally understand that. But she kind of like was the catalyst for the entire show, if you think of it.
I get it. No, I understand. But hey, man, to each their own. Who did you pick for your own best girl?
Look, I do not know. I actually don't have an answer because I think this is a bullshit category. Yeah. So I chose two best girls because I thought they both needed to be mentioned. Mm-hmm. First off, Lizard Princess from Tower of God. Are you fucking kidding me? Lizard Princess, baby. Woo woo.
Yeah, dude, that was super dope seeing her fight in the beginning because you're like, she's gonna get her shit fucking rocked, and it turns out she's an absolute beast.
She's so cool. The second I saw her, I was like, need to see what's going on with her, and then she attacked with her like whippy sword, and I was like, this is the coolest lizard girl that's ever existed. And then my other vote is Tanaka's girlfriend from Haikyuu. Huge,
babe, fucking unit. Right here, out here blocking shit.
I just like her so much because she sees Tanaka for who he is, and that's fucking beautiful, my guy.
Yeah. She's dope. I think it's great that that he empowered her to make her not feel bad about her height. If anything, he was like super jealous about it and made her feel beautiful. And she's a babe. Gonna say it. Fucking babe.
She's 14 years old.
Told babe. She's not a real person.
I don't know how old she is. But yeah, that's one of the things that it comes back to. Like, all these characters are pretty young. I think Abigail is like the oldest one. Like,
let's see.
Are you going to be like, Kaguya-sama from Love is War, of course, like best girl. She's the main character. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. It feels weird as an adult, 29 years old, talking about high school kids, even if they're animated in any kind of a way where they're like best boy, best girl, sexualized. Fucking weird. Moving on. Best mom. Now this is a category I could sexualize. I know.
But
I just wanted to make a little joke.
You were talking about would have rather had it the other girl instead of what was her name?
Dorothea.
Or
it's Dorothy. Yeah. I think it's Dorothea.
I think it's Dorothy from Great Pretender instead of Abigail Jones. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they just picked Abigail because she's there longer, right? She's like, there's more of her to see in the show.
She started out as the one everyone was like, holy shit, look at this chick. I'd let her cut my throat open. And I was like, whoa. They just got really extreme with it really fast. And so there's just a rabid fan base for this chick.
Right. I just, when I went to Best Girl, I kind of felt like indifferent to it. I was like, whatever, it doesn't matter. I picked it's either a chick from Eizouken or Uraraka from fucking My Hero, because I pick her almost every year. And there was My Hero this season, which I totally forgot.
It's fine, man. Uraraka does it again.
Fucking clean sweep. She's also winning Best Mom. Here we go. Next up, our personal category. This is not a part of the Crunchyroll Awards, even though we were told it's on a list, not the long list or the short list, but it's on a list somewhere.
It's on a list at Crunchyroll. It's in a box.
Maybe one day we'll have nominations for Best Mom, but who did you vote for Best Mom? I'll tell you who I voted for Best Mom.
Please do.
The mom from Japan sings 2020.
Me too.
Best Mom.
Without a doubt. This wasn't a question. This was just a difficult one. Like, the reason behind it was a sadder reason than there's ever been for Best Mom.
There's the bit where like the daughter hug her and like she goes on the fucking boat and then she runs back and I go, fuck, dude, right here, right in the fucking chest organ, Good mom, man.
I feel sad now. Can we move on?
No. Feels sad a little bit longer.
All right, then let's shout out the Misfit of Demon King Academy.
Also
that
a
mom was such a sweetheart and so supportive of her son, who turned out to be the Demon King. He's like 3 months old and he's a full-grown man somehow. Oh, man.
Good mom, yeah. Best mom? No. Good mom? Yes. All right, man. Let's move on to the next one.
Best Japanese voice actor performance.
Okay, Best Japanese Voice Actor Performance goes to... Who'd you vote for?
Wave Listen to Me's main character, What's-Her-Face?
Yeah, that's a pretty easy one, right, for you?
For me, personally, yeah. Riho Sugiyama, Minare Koda is the character, but Riho just fucking killed it, dude. It was just... Out of all of the different shows last year... There was only one character that absolutely carried every single episode of the show, because that's the point of the show. Mm-hmm. She is hosting a radio show. She's not used to this. It's a brand new thing. And she's done everything. She's done a drunk rant. She's done like improv script stuff. She's done like reading straight off of a script. She did all these different things and she sold it so well, and it really keeps you captivated, where she's just like having a monologue for about 2 minutes where she's screaming, going through all these different emotions, and it's just showing like characters reacting to her radio shows. It's such an easy choice for me. She killed it. I'm impressed by her work. If I ever see her name pop up, I will get excited in the future to be like, oh man, is she getting another complex role? Like, because Wave Listen to Me wasn't my favorite show, but it was really interesting being about a radio show and whatnot. It was a lot of fun because of this voice actor's performance. So that was really easy for me to choose from Crunchyroll. And yeah, what about you? How did you do?
So I think we've talked about her a bunch, but I'm still gonna pick her because she's my favorite voice. Was the voice actor for Sayuka Kanamori, which is from Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken. Her name is Matsumi Tamura. I don't know, man. She just had a really interesting voice that fit really well with the character. So voting for her was pretty easy. Other people that got nominated, I guess I'm not going to say the voice actor. They say the character they played. So Hanako from Toilet Bound Hanako. Kun, Natsuki from ReZero, starting for Another Life Season 2, Gojo, Jujutsu Kaisen, I think it's the sexy boy, and then Daisuke, which I think is the Millionaire Detective from The Millionaire Detective, Balance Unlimited,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't watch all these shows, but I mean, I think we very easily had a favorite amongst these selections. But I feel like it's fair. I feel like there's a diverse group here. And then for my own personal, still pick the same person. I'm assuming
me
you did
too.
the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Crunchyroll's best English voice actor performance.
Okay.
We skipped it. We fucking skipped it. When we voted, we did bias votes. We don't watch much in English. The things we do watch in English are usually not the shows that we enjoy watching.
True.
But I voted for fucking Crispin.
Johnny Young Bosch.
Yeah, Johnny Young Bosch. The other one's Crispin Freeman. But yeah, Johnny Young Bosch.
So we did pass because we don't watch it in English. We wouldn't be able to keep up with it for that the pod. I do eventually sometimes watch a show in English. Like I am watching the dub of My Hero with my nephew. So it's interesting because I never watched it like that before. There's some characters that when they talk, I go, that doesn't feel right. But it is what it is. Characters I do want to say who got nominated because I don't want to make them feel bad.
Please do, yeah.
So My Hero Academia Season 4, Hawks, Fate, Grand Order, some guy named Zusudra, I don't fucking know. Great Pretender, Laurent, Bam, that's who you voted for. I think I voted for him also just because, why not? For Tower of God, Legoshi from Beastars, and then Echidna for ReZero. Yeah. Which, I mean, again, it's not like we don't think English voice actors are important. It's just we don't listen to them, so we can't have an honest vote. What's next?
Very cool. Next up, Best Fantasy. Now, on Crunchyroll, they had some interesting options. So, of course, I had to go for Tower of God because I was interested in every facet of that world. I wanted to know more. They had magic. They had, different laws of the world. Physics is different in certain planes, and I don't know. I was really interested to see what else was going on in this fantasy world, but I would have never called this a fantasy show, personally. I mean, I guess it is, but this isn't the first thing that my brain goes to when I think of fantasy. This is... I mean, I guess it would have to be, but it's more like a dream than anything.
Yeah, I don't know. Fantasy... When I think fantasy, I think of very traditional fantasy, which is fucking swords and fucking armor and stuff. So
there's not a goblin. It's not fantasy. Instagram podcast stance.
So I also vote for Tower of God just because it built a very good world, and what's interesting is that we've been stuck in this, not even the tower this whole time. We're in the fucking prequel to get somewhere, and we still haven't even gotten there. And there's a world outside of there because there's characters who talk about back in my home, my village got attacked by these people. It's this world feels so fucking massive that I can't even begin to fathom how large it is and how it's split up. So it just blows my mind. Things that got nominated: the ReZero, Dragon Quest, Decadence, Ascendance of a Bookworm Part 2, Dorohedoro. I watched, I don't know, I think 3 of these.
And you thought I might vote for Ascendance of a Bookworm because I loved that show. And they did do such good world building in that show. But when it came down to it, I enjoyed how they revealed information about that world more in Ascendance of a Bookworm. But I wanted to know more about Tower of God because they had so many weird things going on. And when you start out with a giant, monstrous fish fight, I want to know what the fuck I'm in for. What am I watching right there? Yeah. So that's why I voted for that, for Crunchyroll.
For sure. And then what about yourself personally? Because I also just voted for Tower of God as my favorite fantasy.
Wondering Which, Journey of Elena.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I did not have to second guess anything for that. Wondering Which was... because it's so similar to... what's that? Kino's Journey. Yeah. Because it's so similar to that. It's each area that they're in kind of functions differently, but it's all magical fantasy bullshit. And I just had so much fun learning about each city, each town, each kingdom, all their locations. It was a lot of fun doing that. I think
the more I've thought about it, I've decided that I like Kino's Journey more than Wandering Witch.
100%.
And yeah, I don't know. I still apples to apples, I still am way more intrigued by this fantasy world of like Tower of God than Wandering Witch. If we don't ever get a second season of Wandering Witch, I'd be like, okay, it's not. I wouldn't be too upset because I feel like it ends in a pretty good note. But with Tower of God, I'm still really curious about what the fuck everything is. So I think that's why I voted for that one. But both really good. I do really like your pick, honestly. I think the nominations for this one weren't the best. Like the cat,
it was tough.
Put up there.
I was so close to voting for Somali. I was really close to voting for that, but Wandering Witch just beat it out. Wandering Witch was made by C2C. They've done not a lot of stuff that we really enjoy, but they've done like Hitori Bochi, that show about the girl trying to make friends, which is really sweet. Haruka Receive, which is a beach volleyball show. And World End, what do you do at the end of the world? Are you busy? Will you save us?
Yeah, you sure do love saying that title.
I sure do. Every time that I can, I'll bring it up.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was Best Fantasy. On to Best Protagonist.
Yeah, Best Protagonist.
Easily the hardest category for me.
Yeah, nominations. These are all the main characters of their show. So here we go. The main character for Decadence, the main character from Villainous, the main character from Jujutsu Kaisen, main character from Demon King Academy, and the main character from Haikyuu. For the Crunchyroll list, I voted for Hinata from Haikyuu. Fucking love that dude. Great guy. 10 out of 10.
Great guy. 10 out of 10. I voted for Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, man. I voted for Midori Asakusa.
For your personal vote, because that's not on the Crunchyroll list.
For Best Protagonist?
Yeah, it's. I'm looking at it right now, dude. They're not on the list. What? Oh, it's for sure not listed here, but the photo is right there for them.
Yeah, I'm like sitting here on my phone.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm looking at the website, and it says, "Hey, these were the nominations for Best Protagonist," and it doesn't have your fucking Eizouken.
Well, guess what? I screenshotted Best Protagonist Midori Asakusa, so go fuck yourself.
I can fucking screenshot this too, bro. Okay, but yeah, no, that's a great character too. I know. You know what? Absolutely, that character was there because you and I discussed this when I was making my votes, and you were surprised I voted for Hinata, and I was like, yeah, I fucking love the guy. I don't know what to tell you.
He's a good guy.
The main character from the protagonist from Eizouken is super dope. She has some of the most like funny lines. She's so wild in the way she thinks.
Her voice actress was also really good, by the way.
Yeah. She's great. Honestly.
Such a good show, such a charming protagonist. The thing with her is that I chose her as Best Protagonist because I wanted to see her world. I wanted to look inside of her brain again and again and again. And she's the one that's really driving the show. She's the one that got everyone together. All these different people, all these different teams, because they realized her inspiration was going to create something beautiful that they wanted to be a part of. And I mean, that's very similar to Hinata, I think. I think that Hinata inspired so many people in Haikyuu, whether he knows it or not. He's such a good protagonist. Both fantastic options. But I feel like Best Protagonist is kind of like a fucking whatever category, personally.
Almost. But yeah, what did you... I voted the same way for my own personal votes.
Yeah. We're done.
Yeah. On that one, we're done. I mean, there's not much to say. I don't know about this list just because I didn't watch all the characters in this, but sure, it's fine.
Best antagonist.
Best antagonist.
I went rogue for a personal vote on this one, but how could I vote for anyone other than Rachel in Tower of God? The whole time I wanted to know what the fuck she was up to, and I didn't like her at all. And then at the end, I'm like, good. I don't like you, but good.
Yeah. I also voted for Rachel, Tower of God, just because there's the fucking that fucking bit at the end, and you're just like, fuck you, Rachel. Just like, fuck you so hard. I hate her. Other people are voted for best antagonist. The antagonist from Dorohedoro, one from Jujutsu Kaisen, Fruit Basket Season 2, ReZero, and then My Hero Academia. And this one was like, I don't know, there's really easy ways for me to write a lot of them off. Like And the bad guy from Dorohedoro, I was like, is he really the antagonist of this show?
That's
I don't
100% how
know.
I felt. I'm like, didn't we find out by the end of it that, like, I mean, he's not, like, good, but he's not bad, and
Evil, yeah.
I don't know. That was a weird one.
Yeah, that was a weird one. And then Overhaul for, like, My Hero. Honestly, like, one of my least favorite bad guys or whatever. Like, I could give a fuck about fucking this guy. Honestly, there's just better bad guys in My Hero. He's not that great. I don't know if that's just like too critical of him. So I didn't have to vote for him. Let's see, the guy from Jujutsu Kaisen. I was like, he's also the main character, like the same person kind of thing. Don't care about him. I didn't watch Fruit Basket, didn't watch ReZero. So.
But yeah, absolutely 100% had to choose Rachel on that. And then for my own personal vote, like, if you look at all of the shows, the two best antagonists were the one that I'm definitely not going for. The Earthquake in Japan Sinks 2020. That's a really solid one up there. I'm talking about the second one, by the way, not the first one. Easy to confuse. And then Made in Abyss, my guy. Are you fucking kidding? No, just the Abyss and Made in Abyss. No, dude. Made in Abyss, this whole story arc was so fucked up. What a terrible person. What a terrible being.
The bad guy in Made in Abyss?
Yeah.
Okay, he has a name, because I remember in the past you have just voted for the Abyss as like the bad guy. So I was like, are you doing this again?
No, I'm talking about the actual dude. The dude who spoilered his spoilers. You know?
Yeah, I know.
I can't say a lot about what's going on, but what I can say is that guy is the most fucked up character. And like literally when Made in Abyss came out and like you get to see who I'm talking about, you go, fuck that guy. He's the most evil character of all time. And then you watch the movie that's about his layer of hell. And then you're like, yeah, he's still like the worst dude ever. That's all I have to say. The Sovereign Souls, man.
Okay, to be very clear about this, you know his name, you just don't want to say it.
I don't want to give him that power, you know?
Okay, good, because it's just kind of akin to the winner of Antagonist is the killer from fucking Erased, and they say his name. It's just like, obviously the bad guy for Made in Abyss is really good. I still picked Rachel because I can't believe she did my boy like that. That's good. I didn't really vote for movies until the very last one where I vote for a movie.
Yeah, which, dude, when you think about all of the like antagonists, though, he's like the truest antagonist out of everything. As much as I was like, fuck Rachel, she's a bad person, whatever. This guy just, it's not a contest.
Dude, Earthquake, or the second Earthquake in Japan Sinks is also a really good vote. I almost want to vote for that. That's hella funny.
I mean, for real though.
I'm gonna write that down as best antagonist Rachel and the second Earthquake for me.
Dude, could you imagine that combo? Oh my god.
Oh, that bitch. And the second Earthquake. Jesus Christ.
Okay, cool. Man. Best couple. Oh, by the way, Made in Abyss is like a fucking movie or whatever, so I'm not going to talk about the studio behind that.
Yeah,
since movies I feel like are a lot more like who knows what's going on.
Yeah, the movie's also Made in Abyss, Dawn of the Deep Souls, just in case people were wondering specifically, because
there are recap movies, but
movies that you don't need to watch. Yeah, just watch the show. Yeah. Okay, best couple.
Yeah, best couple. Now this one was it's a fucking rogue vote from me for the Crunchyroll votes. We are talking about Tony Kawa Over the Moon for You, the two characters that I don't know the names of from that, because the whole show's about them being married or whatever. And like, they try to be in a healthy relationship, and it's not about the drama between them. It's about building the foundation of their relationship and being good to each other. And what's a better message than that, my guy?
Yeah, those characters are Nasa and Tsukasa Yazaki, because they're married, right? That makes sense. Let's see, other nominations. The couple from Kageyama-san, Love Is War.
Oh yeah, but it's not a good couple.
Can I get through the nominations and then we can say why they suck?
Okay.
The next one is Beastars, then Inspector, then My Next Life as a Villainess, and lastly Rent a Girlfriend. So yes, Trip, I do understand your vote. Absolutely, because
they gave me 2 options.
They're actually like a functioning couple that are actively like in love and trying to make things work. The other character, so Love is War, they're literally fighting at each other's.
They won't admit each other's love.
Fucking Beastars, the love characters in that show want to eat each other or whatever.
That show's like fucked up and confusing, and that's full of all the kinds of toxicity that I love in a drama. But man, that is not a good couple thing.
Inspector, I don't even know who it's like the chick with the wonky eye and the monster dude. Didn't even watch the show. What? She does. She's got like a glass eye or whatever. I
know. But yeah, definitely like he's resisting the relationship the whole time, and she's been like stalking him since he was with his ex. That seems unhealthy to me, but okay.
This next one, I really don't have any, say on it because it's just I didn't watch the show, but apparently it could. Katarina Klaus and Maria Campbell, which are 2 girls, which I'm like, cool, shout outs. I'm glad they put 2 girls in the mix. I didn't even know they were a couple because I didn't watch the show. But again, can't vote for them because I didn't watch it. And then lastly was a Rent-A-Girlfriend couple of fucking Chizuru and Kazuya? I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I voted for them just because I was like, I watched that show. They're in love. But I also agree it's not the healthiest relationship. For my personal vote,
built on a foundation of lies, my dude.
You're literally paying her to date you.
So, anyways, fuck best cut. Like, what was Crunchyroll thinking?
Time out. So we had to make a vote. We made our votes. When it came to best couple, I voted someone, and I'm like, hold on, this isn't the right couple. I didn't want them. I really like the couple you picked. I picked my couple, and then I went to saw what your couple was.
I did not. Like,
yeah. And I was like, that is way better than my couple. So I picked Adachi and Shimamura from the show Adachi and Shimamura. I was like, because you know what? They're a couple. They're not the ideal couple because like I'm even super frustrated because they never said they love each other. But I was like, cool, man. What a sweet love story. That's probably one of my favorite love, animes from this past year. I'll pick Adachi and Shimamura. But Trip, go ahead and tell us what you voted for.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell us.
No.
I also voted for that show, but I voted for their friends because they were a great couple and cute to watch in every scene they were in. And it was fun being like, are they together? I think they're together. They're together. Okay. All right, then. Okay.
What's funny is that like I liked mine. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna Adachi Shimamura hands down. And I go over to yours and I see Adachi and Shimamura's friends, and I go, yes, they're better because they absolutely know that they're in love and they're totally cool with it, and they're like, and they're happy, and it's just such a good vote. I was a little kind of confused as to like why you didn't put their actual names, but that was like when you explained you don't give a fuck. I was like, cool, that's really funny. I would love for Crunchyroll to like fucking refix their definition of a couple and then put just Adachi and Shimamura's friends as a fucking nomination.
Fucking dude, the Earthquake and Adachi and Shimamura's friends for best couples.
Solid shit, dude. That shit's good. All right,
hey, Tezuka Productions. Adachi and Shimamura is made by Tezuka Productions. They've done Dororo, Kids on the Slope, other stuff. Anywho, the final category: best fight scene. Crunchyroll. What'd you choose?
I picked. What did I pick? Hold on, I gotta look at this real quick.
Yeah, I know. There were lots of really good fight scenes, but none of them really stood out as being like the one that I loved,
Okay, I get it. So yeah, I agree. So the fight I picked was Jin Mori and Han Dawi or whatever from the God of High School, which is like the two main boys fighting. I think
and that's when he uses like other dudes like powers and he goes, "Whoa! That's crazy that he uses my own power against me. Jeez, Louise, guys."
That was my favorite fight from these nominations. What did you pick for it?
I just went with my hero. Didn't matter what fight it was. I was like, they got good fights. And I liked every fight in that a lot. but I didn't care as much about God of High School's fights. I didn't care about the stakes. That's really what was in it for me.
No, but
My Hero's stakes were bigger.
We talked about this, that the Deku and Overhaul fight was not as good as the Lemillion and Overhaul fight. Like that, I thought that was way better.
So good.
Yeah. Okay, here are the other fights for the fighting scenes. There's a fight in Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't care. There's a fight in Jujutsu Kaisen. There's another fight with Jin in God of High School. Then there's a fight in Sword Art On. You know what? Sword Art Online Alicization, which is super interesting, didn't get nominated in anything but this, which is crazy.
Yeah. Well, Sword Art, like, I don't really know where it's at in the, like, anime watcher viewer climate, but their animation, and I will attest to this every single time, is some of the best animation I've ever seen. Yeah. So the fact that it is in the best fight category makes a lot of sense, but I was surprised to see that it wasn't in the best animation category.
That is true. Like, there's times where, like, I'll see, like, trailers, and, like, I think you even saw, like, a snippet of, like, a promo video at Anime Expo of, like, one of the characters blinking, and I was like, my God, that looks gorgeous.
Right?
But I'm
not
going to watch the show.
Seeing how they, like, draw everything. Oh, my God. Anyways, yeah.
Okay, so, and then there was, like I said, there's a God of High School fight that I voted for, and then lastly, there was Brawler and Master for Akadama Drive. Shout out to Akadama Drive for getting nominated in anything.
Yeah, and I was pretty pissed, too, that this was the only area it was nominated in, because it had so many very striking visuals and stuff. I'm amazed that it didn't somehow, nice it didn't weasel its way into a different category. That being said, I loved the fight, but it was not like, I don't look at that show and think of fights, you know?
Yeah. I agree. Okay, so I'm not too happy with this. I didn't like the fact that, you know, God of High School got 2 fights in there.
Yeah, it's some bullshit.
I wasn't super jazzed about the My Hero fight they picked.
I know, when they could have chose Fat Gum, or they could have chose Lemillion, or like...
We talked about this. Okay, so for my personal pick, I had picked originally Fat Gum and Kimamura. Is that his name? Fucking Red Riot.
Whatever his name is.
Fighting the other 2 guys, like the shield and like the spear or whatever. That was the sickest fight. But then I decided, well, I'm gonna do a quick googs. Gonna Google up real quick, and it turns out that episode aired in 2019, so it doesn't qualify for the 2020 thing. And I was
disappointed. Why does the Deku Overhaul one qualify?
Because it happened later, I guess.
Did it happen later? Because it wasn't like right later. After Lemillion. Wasn't it like literally during Lemillion's fight?
But it also happened over the course of like 3 episodes or whatever. So it's like, who knows what the cutoff point is for it. I don't know, dude. I'm not super happy about it. If I could, I'd pick the Fat Gum fight. But I like what you suggested, which is a really good fight.
Made in Abyss, Dawn of the Deep Soul, the entire movie.
Yeah.
Like, there were a few parts that had some like pretty big fights in there. I don't feel like it's fair to separate it, especially since it's in the same film and they all kind of tied into the same goal and result. I thought the ingenuity of these characters and the like fucking reveals during the fight from our best antagonist were insane. It was such an emotionally driven fight that I don't know, it just blew me away because I had already read it. I already knew what was going to happen, but seeing it all happen in the movie was so much better. It was so good.
I think that I voted for, like, I agree that Made in Abyss fight, all of it was great. But I do like that fight when they think that they got him beat. You know, when we get that first reveal.
When they fucking nuke?
That was so dope. Like, there was, like, so many things happening. They had everything planned out.
Like, throw these bugs in him. They'll eat his flesh. And you're like,
I thought they had him. I literally thought, like, wow, that's it? That's the end of the movie? Fucking dope. And then I was just like, I don't fucking know anything. It's good, though. Some good shit, man.
Dude, throwback to Made in Abyss. What a good time. What a terrible time, but a great time.
I think that ends it, man, honestly, for the nominations and of the Crunchyroll Awards.
We thought about adding more, but clearly we talked about it for 2 hours, so.
Yeah, so it's plenty. I mean, you fucking heard us talk enough. Honestly, do I think they did a good job? I think in some categories they did a good job. I think they still need to, I don't know, diversify some more. I don't like the fact that, you know, one show got 2 votes for the same category. But yeah, I don't know, man. It doesn't really matter. Obviously, you can kind of tell sometimes that like they do gear things towards like stuff that only comes out of Crunchyroll, because like some of these shows really don't deserve to be nominated, then they pass up other shows. But I mean, it'd be weird if they had a category with only shows that wasn't a part of their fucking streaming site. It'd be kind of like a
that would be weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
so anyways,
I would also like to note that Best Fantasy is a stupid bullshit random category, considering all of the others seem to be like pretty typical. But then Best Fantasy was literally at the end of the original voting for me. I don't know why it was. I don't know if that was supposed to be the order, but it was
an afterthought or something.
Yeah, it felt like that as I was voting for things, because there's like Best Drama, Best Comedy, and those are kind of different broad genres. To where they could be like a fantasy comedy, it could be like a realistic comedy, it could be a dark comedy, like whatever. And then you have Best Fantasy, and it's such a vague, weird option with all these different vague, weird shows in there. I don't know. They didn't even have the one about like fantasy witches. Like, what's up with that? They didn't even consider Lapis Relights, which wasn't a fantastic show, but it was a fantasy world, and I feel like it fit the place more than other shows in there. I don't know, man. I just thought that was kind of a cop-out. Anyways, ReZero Season 2 takes the cake on Best Fantasy. So, yeah.
Anyways, that's it. I think we're supposed to find out who actually wins like in like 20 days or something like that.
It's in a while.
Which is cool. We'll come up and we'll talk about them, who actually won, and we'll also talk about how maybe cringy some things were when the nominations thing. Sometimes there's always a good story to tell. Like, it's always a hard watch, but we always do it. So that's it, man. I got nothing else to really say. I think I've been talked out.
Yeah, me too, dude. Next week we're gonna do worst of 2020, so look forward to that.
Jesus Christ.
And be like, yep, didn't even hear this. It clearly was the worst, I guess.
Cool. So that's the show. We'll figure out what we're doing next week. If you like our theme song, you can check out Not Mars on Spotify. He also has a new music video for his, fucking new single, Paperweight, that I'm assuming, directed himself. I don't know. I'm assuming Tom made it. I don't think he hired some super fancy director, but it's pretty fun. I got to watch it the other day and I enjoyed it. I was pleasantly surprised. I did not guess the ending right. I was trying to guess what was pulling him. I was wrong. So if you want to find out, go check out Not Mars on Spotify. Check them out on YouTube. Triple, where can people find us?
You can find us on Facebook. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. Same thing goes for Instagram. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. If you want to send us a tweet at Instant Ramen Pod.
Podcast Benefit.
And you could shoot us an email, instantramenpodcast@gmail.com. We stream every week on Twitch if you want to hang out. It's sometime between 8 and 9 Pacific Standard Time at twitch.tv/Crispather. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and listening. I had a good time. Thank you.
For sure. I didn't expect this one to be this long, but it is.
Me either.
Sorry about
Here we are.
We'll see you next time. Bye from Juan.
See you around from Chris.
Make sure don't forget.
Just add hot water.